All right. Ready? Okay. Oh,
No.
it's so
Not
soft.
ready at all.
I
But
can't clap very well. Hello. Hello. Welcome to Petted Sword. It's Halloween. Maybe. We we
Maybe.
I
We
think.
did all this because you told us it was the
No, no,
whole.
no, no. It is. It is. It is. It is. It is.
Damn
It is. It is.
it.
It is. It is. It is. It is Halloween. Not the day of. Halloween is not a Monday, but it is Halloween week. So we're Halloweened out. We are queening out, you could say. Weaning out. Anyway, so we're here. Hello, we're
Wow.
not
back.
that
We're
one.
yes,
Not that one.
yes,
No.
yes. I already
Mm-mm.
said it. I already said it. It's fine.
Mm-mm.
No, that
So
one.
we're we did. I didn't realize that this was the Halloween episode until right now. So
Well,
we sort of improvised.
pull back
And
the curtain, why don't you?
yeah, I like to be honest with our audience, AJ. Okay, so at first
Yeah.
it was
All
it
right.
was just these little filters, right? Little halo, but then I half of us forgot we have costume supplies, and so here we are. So we're here, we're ready. We might completely lose our characters in this, but you know what's a gimmick episode between friends, right? So let's get right back into things, folks. Last we were together, our adventurers had gone from the Cobalt Reserve in Westrun in Taldore to the seventh layer of hell. Haster, their archdevil patron, had invited them to spend a night in more secure circumstances after their encounter, their battle with this infernal Aormaton in the reserve. He brought you to his palace. You were given a chance to take a breather, given each rooms that were tailored to you, what you needed, what you wanted in that moment. Nimra got to drive around out in the waste in a really nice car, and then everybody hit the hay, um, and had a little bit of a moment to themselves, brought back to what they needed. Um, and Celiana got a chance to speak with Amara again, and then made an attempt to speak to Melancholy that did not go well, which resulted in the two of them, or not the two of them. That's a bit unfair. Celiana sort of standing there trying to grab her while Melancholy was aggressively, violently swinging at her, and then Rick came in like, you kids will figure this out, and then very quickly realized that this was not for kids to figure out. Okay, got a little heavy. Both of them left her to her devices, and the following morning we met to have a meeting in Haster's boardroom to discuss progress, next steps, where to go from here. We ended last session after a bit of technical difficulties, a little right towards the end of the meeting. So that's where we're gonna pick up, just in the midst of the latter half of that meeting, resolving what you need to resolve with him before inevitably you head back to Exandria, wherever you wish for him to deposit you. So, I would say, as of this moment, over the last maybe half hour or so, Haster has begun to detail and explain what he has mostly been working on up until yesterday. His main focus in the moment has been intel gathering on the Black Pit, seeing as that's the first step to progress anyway, and he needs that gone before he can step further. And by his own, bless you, Mac, by his own, bless you again. I saw you, so I did it. You're welcome.
Thank you.
That's going to read real well in the audio.
Yeah.
I
know.
Thankfully, I mute myself at least.
For the audience, Max sneezed twice. So
Yeah.
for the
Again,
audio audience,
Pull
Max
pull
sneezed
pull
twice.
back the curtain, why don't you?
I like to listen. Okay, so and
Don't get off topic.
specifies-
You were about to outline the important stuff about what Haster was
And then
doing.
don't
Please.
interrupt me. Then don't interrupt me, Mister. Pull back the okay. Anyway, so and he specifies. He explains that his focus currently isn't on further how do I word it? Further intel gathering on the exact plans of what's going on layer 9, because as is, that's already a pretty difficult task on its own. And he figured since the Black Pit needs to be dealt with anyway, he'll focus that while trusting you guys to gather what you can about these plans on the 9th layer and what's happening. Of course, now at this point, things are a little different, and he's going to try to make an effort to shift that focus to at least be more even between the two, especially to keep tabs on what other potential threats they might deploy. But up until now, that's where he's been at. So, like I said, over about half an hour, he sort of lays all that out. And what he has at the moment isn't too much. He's got people in now on the Black Pit, which should come back with stuff like layouts, capacity, guard rotation optimally, if not guard count, that sort of thing. He wants to get you a battle plan as early as possible so that we have it ready. But he will bring that to you when it is ready. And as he kind of finishes detailing that sort of thing, specifically, he ends that note pointing out with a sort of map that shows the area surrounding the river Styx on the 8th layer. He points to a spot, and it basically a ways off from where the river carves through, and just right here, about 250 or so miles from the river, is where the Black Pit is. By traditional means, you'll be using the river to get in to this layer. So, up to you how you disembark and get to work, but good to know for now. And of course, when I have more specific layouts, details of both that fortress and what may be in between it and the riverbank, I'll pass that along to you. And then he kind of steps back a minute, and he kind of like sets his fingers on the table and just sort of seems to think a moment and looks up and just... And don't think I forgot about you. And Nimra, you feel kind of in that moment just a little touches of little spider legs on your shoulder, and he just twists his hand, and you feel a weight on your shoulder as and then why couldn't it stay as a spider? Come, all right, okay, it's fine. And he Scoot sort of unfurls his wings a little bit, kind of gets up and just okay, all right. And he kind of like gets down in like a sort of like subservient sort of bow for a second. He's like, I am eager to assist your highness. And he just kind of looks at him and looks at a lot of you and then to Nimra. This one, where'd he come from? Where'd we collect this?
Where else but on the material plane? He was skulking about my office.
Where are you
Quite
now?
inadequately, but...
Hey, all right. First of all, skulking is a bit rude. I was snooping.
Is he on the ground?
He's on the table. Like he kind of fell off. He was forcibly transformed back into inform and fell off of Nimra's shoulder onto the table.
Okay.
And so he's now kind of.
If he's within range, I want to slap him across the back of the head.
Yeah, you could reach. Just. Can we stop? Listen, Your Highness. I gotta say, I don't think. Do you approve of imp abuse? I think this is pretty. This is not a group for me to. And he just kind of, and his mouth disappears. And he just.
You have to show one of us how to do that.
He just kind of like gives up. Like his body language is just defeated, and he just kind of sits. And he just. You be quiet. Skulking about in your office. And has he informed you all what he was looking for?
I mean,
Above.
yes. He was there looking for the scrolls.
Right, as I would imagine. Okay. And so, tell me, whatever your name is, what reason do we have to trust that you didn't cause what just happened? And he just kind of sits there and just like, and is giving his mouth like, listen, I didn't do that. Okay? I had been in boss's office looking for information about him. That doesn't mean I found him. I wasn't the only imp there, okay? All right? I was not the only imp on the case. I was not the only devil on the case, okay? I told him that. I did. You remember? You
Yes,
remember, right? And he looks
you
at all of
did.
you. You remember? Okay, all right. I told you that.
You lied to us.
No, I didn't. What? Lie to you? Why?
You told us that you were the leader of this little pack of imps and that you were able to survey the whole archive by yourself.
Not true. Not true. I said I was the leader. I did not say I could do it all by myself.
We were under the impression that you were the only one there at the moment.
Oh, were you? I guess it was a little bit of miscommunication. I never said that. I did say there was. I said there was others. Listen. There was probably just a little bit of a misunderstanding. It's okay. It happens. You know, I'll take the blame. I'll take it. My fault. But we're okay now, right? We're okay. Oh, okay. And he starts floating off the ground. I don't like this. This is involuntary. And he just kind of, Haster pulls him over and just sort of holds him in front of himself and just, I could crush your little head like a grape. And then you wouldn't exist anymore. Should I do that? And he just sort of puts two clawed fingers on either side. He's like, no, okay. Come on, man. I'm helping. I'm helping. All right. I'm useful. You want me here. Okay. I'm more useful alive than dead. And he just
That's
kind of
pending.
It's pending, though. Do we want to give him the chance? It's your pet. I'll let you choose. I'm not a fucking pet.
He's a little cute. But I have gotten most of the information that I'd wanted from him.
Oh, come on. Hey, boss. No, you haven't. I can be so useful. I can give more I can help. If and when we get there, I can sneak into their base because I work for them. I work. Come on, scream a little bit. Come on, please just tell me what keep me around, please. I don't want to die. Say the word.
Well, do you all think he has outlived his purpose? Or do you think he might still have a chance? I'm on the... I believe the saying goes, on the fence about this.
I think the little imp has been lying to us since he started with us. And I do not believe that he is fully with us. To his own admittance, he said he could sneak into the Bastion because he works is in present, not past tense.
Well, they don't know where I am. They don't know I'm here. So I can
And
say I have to work for them. Why would I admit that I'm not
contract and come back? If you could freely go back, having failed your missions as you're still working for them, how are they going to accept you back in if we send you out?
No,
They'll just kill you on the spot.
Okay, that's a fair point. Okay, that might not be where I'm useful, but I know stuff. What if your big daddy over here is busy and he can't tell you stuff? I know stuff. I know devil stuff. I live down here. I know stuff. I can help.
All right. Is he clearly just like scrounging for his life, or has he been holding out on us? Does he know things?
Make an insight check.
21.
Yeah, he.
Nice.
I mean, it's a mixture of like he's fearing for his life. But he's also, it's not necessarily that he's holding out on you, but that he's afraid that he's like, where the lie is it's not necessarily a lie, but it's a lack of certainty about whether or not he actually is useful to you.
So he
because
doesn't
you
know.
have an archdevil working with you, so what use is an imp, right? He thinks he could probably find a way to be useful if his life depended on it, which it does. But it's clear he's not necessarily holding anything back, more so that, he's not actually sure how useful he could be. And he's worried that he can't convince you and that his head's going to pop like a grape as a result. So
Yeah, Rick is just going to get like real close to Scoot. I'm going to let you in on a little secret.
Oh, your voice is so loud in my ear.
I don't believe you.
Why? Why are you being so mean to me, man? I haven't done anything to you.
Rick will turn to Nimra. You are the expert on their kind, so I will leave it to you. But he has not shown any sort of usefulness in the 2 days we have had him or known him. At this point, I consider him a liability. And I will look to Haster to see if there's any sort of hint of confirmation or agreement on this.
He's watching your conversation intently. He's curious about what you'll decide to do.
Okay.
Man, above table, having a familiar that can turn invisible to do the help action,
Absolutely.
is incredible.
Yeah.
Scoot, on the other hand, ugh. He would have been real useful if he didn't fuck off whenever we fight devils. So.
No, to be fair, that above table usage is an in-universe usefulness as well. So that's as valid a reason to keep him around if you want.
I guess you can always tell him like this is how it's gonna be. You're gonna fight.
Yeah, you are in fact the boss of him now.
Scoot is a coward, first and foremost.
Okay.
Where were you in the last fight? I failed to see. Did you see me perish? Where were you when that happened?
Did you? That's crazy. I didn't know. I don't know what was happening. I was hiding.
Precisely.
I was worried they would see me. We would be compromised. Even though I work with you. Yeah. I thought they would know I was working with you.
No. And I think Nimra at this point is going to, like when you're chastising an animal, and sometimes you just put your hand like underneath their like jaw to make sure that they're looking at you. Nimra is going to do much the same.
Okay.
You have several uses as a wizard's familiar that you have not attempted to fulfill. I will give you exactly one more chance to fulfill those uses. But you will not be a coward.
No.
You will not stop. And Nimra gets really close. You will not run from a fight against your kind, or else you will be returned to them permanently. I won't give myself the satisfaction. I won't give Rick the satisfaction. Nor will I give Haster the satisfaction of ending you.
Okay. You're real
That'll be your
fucking
boss.
scary when you want to be. No. Okay. Oh, that's really okay. All right. On the same page. I'll be so fucking brave. You've never seen a braver imp. Never seen a braver imp. I'm telling you. Okay. Understood.
Isn't it kind of cute?
Oh, it's adorable.
You have used that word twice. I don't think that word means what you think it means.
You know, when you see like my sister has spoken of this. When you see like a small, fluffy little animal. Yes, that's cute.
I'm not fluffy, man. I'm like
Oh.
leathery.
Okay, so maybe it does mean what you think it means, and you just don't have the. You know what? This is irrelevant. I'm gonna turn to Haster. I
Yes.
think we have made a decision.
All right, and just releases him, and he just onto the table. This fucking sucks. Okay, and he just kind of into a little spider again, and will meekly crawl his way over back to Nimra. And Haster then kind of pushes himself back up to just full stand and... All right. Is there anything else we should discuss before considering this little meeting adjourned? Any questions or concerns?
I am curious.
Mm-hmm.
When we first met you, and I say we, obviously you put me in a grass box and spoke to the rest of them.
Yes.
Yes. But it is all water over the bridge, as it is.
Mm-hmm.
You mentioned that there is information on the 8th level. Information that you cannot get to until we do our thing, which is fine. That is not issue. But I am most curious. You said, and I quote, part of it is personal, but part of it could very well be useful to you as well. What do you think we are going to find on the 8th layer?
Ideally, information about what they're doing further ahead. This little fortress is a part of all this. As far as I know, they are sort of, how you say, allies. Those who run one and the other. They work together. And I knew what you all were after, where you'd all inevitably be going. And so, to the best of my knowledge, I can't imagine why any sort of information they have there wouldn't be useful to you in your later efforts.
That is fair, except for the fact that not but 40 minutes ago, as we were talking, you told us that the 8th layer was nothing more than an extra barrier, a soldiers as needed basis. So which one is it, Hastor? Are they partners? Or is the 8th layer just subservient to that of the 9th?
Well, in the grand scheme of things, it is a sort of caste. It is a hierarchy. I'm talking, when I discuss this little fortress I'm sending you all to, and the people you're working against later down the line, devils, we are, regardless of how you might look at us, we are a people. We have culture, personalities, our own behaviors, and as a result of that, our own unique strand of politics. You know, who more deserving of hell than a politician? So, in the end, a lot of them wind up down here, and a lot of them carry that thinking with them. And a lot of us like scheming and planning and plotting against each other to gain more power. I mentioned to you very early on, every devil thinks himself above the rest. It's a matter of who's smart enough to know their place in such a way that they can use it to elevate their position. These two fortresses, these two groups of devils and their leaders are plotting and scheming as they are. This is a barrier to me because I suspect they know I'm working against them. But they are, in their ultimate endeavors, partners. It is a bit of both, so to speak.
Politicians, you say?
Yes, quite a number.
I imagine corrupt is such a strong word. But politicians can be swayed, no?
Yes, they often can.
Do you see a scenario in which we can persuade Paimon to stop?
I'm not sure. Maybe, if we're lucky. And I suspect if we hit with overwhelming force, then maybe. He, like all other living creatures, values his life. I'm sure he won't want to die for this. But, of course, by the end of all this, it might not be up to any of us whether he lives or dies. We all have a god down here we must serve. Just let the Lord of the Hills catch wind of what's happening, what's being attempted. Who knows how that might end up for our ambitious little friend?
Well, you do what you do, and I will talk to some people. See if we can't pass the word along.
People.
I
Whose
use the
people?
term loosely.
Who?
I think I'm done with this conversation.
I'm not.
I'm aware. But we will have time to pick it up later on. Right now, we have business to do.
I am to be kept informed.
Absolutely. And as
And
soon
you
as
are
I know
not-
something, you will know.
You are not to drag in outside forces outside of my purview, Rick.
Well, that certainly was not the agreement when we started. You agreed to let me recruit from the other 6 layers of hell. That
Yes.
was in my contract.
And is that what you're attempting to do? Is that what you're implying you're going to do?
Oh, that is the intention.
All right. Simple as that. Communication is important here, people. Just remember, for your own safety, I'm watching you.
Yes, although apparently you're a little slow on the take.
Is there anything else?
Not right now.
All right. Then we're done here. And he sort of moves back and starts to step around towards the door and just feel free to stay and discuss on your own if you'd like the space. And whenever you're ready to go home, let me know. And he starts
Thank
making
you.
his way out. And you see he kind of stops for a moment. He stops by Melancholy and sort of like lingers on her for a moment. And you see she's just kind of sitting there like this whole time. And her eyes, she doesn't move her head, but her eyes kind of look to him and she just kind of nods. And he walks out and leaves you all in there. And then she, kind of just a moment later, she just sort of hands on the table, pushes herself up, and just, I'm gonna get my stuff ready. I'll be in my room. Come get me, or I'll meet you in Haster's office when I'm done. And then just steps out.
That's going to be a problem. I don't know how yet, but she's not the same little girl that started this whole thing with us.
I don't know that she ever actually was.
So you can see the problem. We are neck deep in what we have to do here. And I don't want to come off callous, but our tools have just changed. I suspect she doesn't have the same abilities she used to. And that requires an adjustment. Not just in combat, but that off-putting, bubbly personality she used to have. The one that disarmed in social situations. It is gone. And we have lost an asset. This is going to be a problem. I don't yet know how. And I am not one to claim to be an expert in that which is, how you say, positions of the mind. I cannot help there. But perhaps I know a man who could shed some light on tactical capabilities. What we saw last night, Miss Sharp, I have seen before. Many, many times. I know you all have information together, and I am more than happy to travel with you. But I need to make my way to Bassosan. There is a man there who can help me understand what Melancholy is going through. Physically, at least. And perhaps that will help me connect with her in some other way.
Did something happen?
I've been wondering the same myself.
Yes. Melancholy, I think it is obvious, even to you, Archivist, that our little Melancholy is not the same woman. There is some sort of darkness that has overtaken her.
And why does this matter?
Why does
She's
this
more
matter?
powerful now.
We
She will
can
help
adapt.
us.
We've
I
done
have-
it before.
I have absolutely no doubt she is powerful, Miss Sharp. But she is not in the same position. When she loses control, and she will, I need to understand what she is capable of, so I can keep myself and the rest of us out of the way. I am more than happy to let her figure it out on her own, but I am not willing to sacrifice or, no, that is too strong, endanger the rest of us while she squares this away. I'm more than happy to let her off the leash. Point her in a direction and let her go. But when she turns on us, if she turns on us, I will put her down.
It seems like skipping several steps in there.
Yeah, it is. And please, by all means, take those steps. But if she decides to run, she decides to progress faster, then we are able to take those steps. We need to be prepared. So I need to find a way to speak to those that command possibility so that I am prepared if those possibilities arise. Now, enough about that. We need to find these scrolls, or rather, we know where these scrolls are, but we do not know what is in them. I think we have to go back to the archive.
Are we ready to go back to the archive? He kind of glances over at the archivist.
Anything to help this progress further. Whoever we need to speak to, whoever we need to get this information from, that any personal feelings pale in comparison and in importance to making sure that we can get as much information as possible. This is bigger than myself and my petty squabbles.
Is it worth contacting Anzu?
Oh shit, Anzu.
Yeah, I
It's
sort
going
of
to...
forgot that guy existed. Just a
There
little
is
bit.
at least three people that I planned on contacting. Sending a message to Ansu. Perhaps 4. There could be more. Alora Vysoren. Another one, considering that she potentially owes us still. Then contacting Yelika, considering she was researching it. I would have liked to talk to the High Curator, and that's not possible. But if we talk to other curators, get the word out, as much as I loathe to admit, Curator Udrol is known. Should he not have the information himself, he might have the means to get the information.
Do we think that... I don't know how everything lines up, but do we think maybe sending a message to Elixion could help?
I don't think it would hurt.
If nothing else, he talks to people who might be able to push a message to the King of Hell.
And there is one more, perhaps. This Sean Gilmore typically tends to work with known adventuring parties, and he specializes in magical curated goods. He might have a lot of information on... I really don't want to speak to him.
He does owe us a flask.
That is true. At minimum, we do have to go pick it up, and I am with you, Archivist. I do not like the glittering clown. He uses lots of words where 3 will work, and he is patronizing. But one could not argue that he is effective in his ways, and I am trying so very hard to be tolerant of different types.
Sadly, please continue, Mr. Otter.
At minimum, we need the flask.
Sadly, this information is much bigger than our comfort. Are there any other avenues of information that we could potentially explore? Perhaps other reserves? Huxley, you were stationed in Ankarel. Do you think there might be information there?
We could ask. We have a sending stone, so we could reach Iwo there, see if he's able to dig anything up. I can contact Elixion in my book, so we don't have to travel anywhere for that. We can contact Anzu via sending stone as well. That leaves us with heading to your reserve and then heading back to Alora and Gilmore as actual travel options. I believe that's everything.
Well, in order to get in touch with Iwo, we first have to find Question.
Which is back at the reserve.
That is correct.
All right, that kind of seems like it's potentially our first stop.
Okay then.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that's our first stop then.
Yeah.
Okay.
Grab our shit, get together, grab Mel, oof, and then
Surprised that doesn't happen more often.
yeah, I'm trying to be really like diligent about Mal versus
Yeah.
Mel.
Yeah.
Same.
That's why I
It's
paused before I say each name to make sure it's right.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Yeah. So okay. Unless there's anything specific, am I to assume you all head out of the meeting room and head to your rooms to get your things?
Nimra's gonna follow Celiana, but yes.
Pastor left already, yeah?
Yes. Pastor and
Is
Mel are
his-
both out of the room.
Is his receptionist around somewhere?
So when you head out, you can if you give it a minute, you will eventually see like her moving like down the hall, kind of between rooms.
Okay.
We're here, and then a few minutes later, back across, and then sort of down the hall. You can see her enough to like maybe wave her down and get her attention. Yeah.
Okay. I need to speak to the boss. Is he around? Oh wow, sorry. Whoa. Unless she speaks giant, that's not right. And
It's the hat. It's the hat.
It's the hat. Hang on.
It seeps through your head and puts you in that
It
space.
seeps through. It's got me all mucked up. I need to speak to Hester. Is he around?
Yes, he should. At this moment, if he's not in his office, I can call him down if you need to speak with him. Yes.
I can always go to him as well.
Okay. Yes, you should be able to find him in his office. I believe he was just going to be spending some more time there doing his usual work. Yes.
Great. Great. So I'll head to his office.
Okay. Yeah. Just down the hall from between where your rooms are and the meeting room is his office, and you can find him there. Yeah.
Great.
And just to not lose the thread, that's a yes from everyone else. What the rest of y'all are doing are going and gathering your things from your rooms and stuff.
Yeah.
Okay. Go ahead, Rick.
Rick will enter the office, stand in the archway until he is acknowledged.
Yeah, he's just sitting at his desk. When you kind of come in and stop, he just sort of looks up and just gives you a little nod of acknowledgement. But he's kind of tending to things there. But he's got you.
Yeah. Before we head out, I was hoping perhaps you might be able to provide a little bit more armament. The shield I wield is well, it is fine, but
Sure, I should be able to pull something together. I'll check my stock and reach out, and give me a bit of time. Give me a day or two. I'll
Of
have
course.
something. I'll
Of course.
hopefully have something a little bit better than what you've got for you.
I
Feel free to let the others know as well. If everybody wants a little something, I can find something, I'm sure.
of course, absolutely. It was just after what we went through, it
I
might be
understand.
perhaps.
And if it's easier, if you prefer your own tastes, I can also just give you money.
Mm,
I don't want you to feel indebted or anything. I
no,
know
no,
how you are,
no.
but
Color me curious.
all
This
right.
time around, let's see what you can scrounge up.
Here, let's do it this way. You're all due to meet with that Gilmore fellow, aren't you? Pass by there and have everybody pick out 2 things from his stock. I'll come by and give you the money.
That is, Are you trying to butter us up?
No, I don't have to do that.
Yes, I suppose you don't.
Just helping my soldiers get their job done.
I can appreciate that. And Rick will stand at attention and mockingly salute.
At ease.
You know, Hester,
Hmm.
I think this is the beginning of... Oh, nope, I lost it. You have a good day. And Rick will head out
I knew he
down the
liked
hallway.
me. Yeah, and you can head down the hall. Go to gather
yeah.
your things.
Rick is going to stop real quick, find Nimra in the room, or like, I assume y'all are backing up, so he'll knock on Nimra's door, because the plaques probably still say Nimra.
they're labeled, wherever you stayed.
Rick is going to find Nimra. Archivist, not very good at this. You are an important member of this team, and given our last encounter, it is, well, there is no easy way to put this. I worry. I don't want that to happen again. I can't imagine what that's like, or what you might be going through. I have served with many soldiers that have experienced that kind of thing. It is the one thing in my long life that I cannot empathize with. But if you will allow me, in the future, I would like to try to help take on some of that burden. And Rick will pull from his pocket a small, a plat.
I did not hear that.
Really?
Yeah,
Yeah,
word
there
cut
was
out right
like
when you
one
said
word.
the last word, yeah.
The
Cut
last
out.
word?
The
Yeah,
last
yeah.
word.
Rick pulls out a platinum ring.
Oh. Are we having this whole conversation outside the door?
Like in the
Like,
doorway.
Nimmer still hasn't let you in yet.
I know. Rick is probably just talking through the door.
Mr. Otter, or shall I call you Rick?
Whatever you prefer.
And Nimra opens the door, and you again get to see their childhood bedroom.
Okay.
Rick, I will not pretend that what transpired yesterday is not affecting me. I know I am ill-suited for combat. Each encounter we have been in, I've scrambled to update my spellbook. Futilely looking for means to protect myself. And do you have the ring like out in your hand at this point?
Rick's holding it in his hand. Yeah.
And they'll look to the ring. And would they recognize this, Ruby? Would they have any sort of idea of what it does?
In the moment, I don't recognize it. What's the ring, Rick?
I know it as a DM.
Yes, the
It's a warding
ring. The
bond.
ring. Yeah, the ring is a component of warding bond. It's one of the spells Rick carries, and in fact, unless they're not wearing it, Mal and Huxley both wear a platinum ring.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's
I'd say
part of the spell.
It's presumably in all your travels, seeing the way his magic works and that the others have these rings, you could put two and two together. Yeah. I was just sitting there like, did I fucking give you a ring of protection a long time ago or something? I don't remember what this ring is. Then I remember you gave them the ring and everything. I was like, yeah. Sorry, I don't have all the fucking components memorized. Okay,
fun
professionals.
Fun fact. I think Fennel is actually wearing one as well.
Yeah.
Oh.
Oh my god.
Yeah. Assuming Fennel hasn't like pawned it off for components or something.
I need more wizard stuff. Will you take this rig? I think this helps keep you safe or something. Rig of protection, baby.
And Nimra's usually pretty stoic. Face kind of softens a bit when they notice the ring. And are you like holding it out for them, or
I think once he notices that they saw it, yeah, he'll put it in his palm and hold it out.
They're gonna kind of like very gingerly grab the ring out of your hand and stare at it for a minute. This can't have been cheap. But I appreciate it nonetheless. And then they're going to place it on their hand. Which finger specifically? I'm thinking pointer left.
Nice.
That's canon. Keep that finger safe.
Rick gives sort of a wry smile, his sort of harder soldier persona also cracking just slightly. And then he'll reach to his back and produce his shield. Do you know how to use one of these?
Oh, it's been many, many years since I have. But with practice, I believe I still might have the skills in which I can still channel the weave, despite holding it.
I am glad to hear it. I served with many who could do a similar thing, so I know it is possible, and with due respect to them, they are morons compared to you.
Nimrod does like a very slight, like one quirked up smile. I couldn't remember the word for that. Oh my god, just the corner of their mouth, like very slightly turned upwards. Thank you, Rick.
The smile drops, and you can see he's attempting to cover for something, going back into a soldier's sort of stance. He goes, "No thanks necessary. We're going to need every soldier at their best." And he'll go to turn on his heels and go to pick up the rest of his equipment from his room.
Okay.
It's just a standard shield, Mac, but
Yeah, I figured as much, which is still better than nothing. That's an addition to AC that Nimra needs.
Yeah.
At a whopping AC 14 right now.
Nice. Okay. All right. Well,
Yeah.
Bulking them up for sure. Yeah, definitely getting them to a place.
Okay. So, a lot of you in your
Before-
rooms gathering. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yes. Another
We
one.
still
Go ahead. Go ahead. You gotta warn me ahead of time. Go.
No, we
Do your
did
thing.
say this. We did say this
Then we
earlier,
started
at least I
talking.
did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It happens.
Because Nimra was going to seek out Celiana to speak to them.
Oh, right. Okay.
To her. So at this point, I think with just how this played out, I initially wanted to have Nimra speak to them or speak to her before going to the room, but I guess it would also make sense before leaving. stopping by Celiana's room. Because Nimmer probably doesn't unpack very much or do much at all.
Fair.
So they will walk down the hallway to Celiana's nameplate and just knock as loud as possible. Celiana, would you be available to speak momentarily?
Yeah, she'll come over, open the door, let them in.
And first things first, Nimmer is going to do a pretty deep bow towards Celiana. And once they come back up to their full height, thank you. I feel like I should reiterate this as much as possible for giving me my space yesterday. Though, the more I've discussed it with people, the more I realize I need to rely on my allies more. Separate of you being my god. I'd like to think, in light of recent events, and I've never had friends before. I'd like to think, and Nimmer looks a little confused, a little unsure, a little wary. I'd like to think we are friends at this point. I think we're a little bit more than acquaintances. Forgive me if I'm overstepping or making assumptions where they're not correct.
I think that's true. You're right.
Oh, you? All right? After everything, we didn't talk?
I'm not alright. But that doesn't really matter. So, we will get this done. We will save our people. And we will go home.
What's Celiana's body language right now?
Ooh. She is very on guard. Yeah, I think she's just this is her duty, and she's holding herself as she would ready for battle, ready for anything.
Ruby, can
Yeah.
I have Nimra actually use her proficiencies for once in insight to see if they recognize
Sure.
that?
Go for it.
Wait, no, that's not fair, Mac. You don't get to use anything Nimra's proficient in. It's not the way this works.
So true. Okay. That's a 16 on the dice, so a 22.
Yeah, I think you managed to actually interpret this well enough. Yeah.
Cool. I just want to make sure that Nimra is going to very critically, or at least from the outside, very critically give Celiana a once-over with a very shrewd eye. This is all very new to me, so forgive me again if this continues to overstep. But when I was younger, this is what Kariash would do whenever she was sad. And Nimra puts their arms out for a hug. Again. welcome. I was informed this would help. She said it did whenever I would. I'm not new to hugging, it's just I'm new to the whole being the person offering.
I don't think she accepts it.
Oh,
Thank
ouch.
you. But not necessary.
You do realize that your feelings and emotions matter too. You wouldn't tell me not to get over the fact that I died. Would you hold it against me if I needed comfort in that moment? Why hold it against yourself?
Because it doesn't work out.
Why?
If you need comfort, I will give it to you. But I don't need any.
And what if I say I would like the hug? Come on. Did I not just die yesterday?
Wow. Nimra is
Um.
like, they need to die more often.
I'm
They're
riding
on
the
one
high of that
today.
insight check,
So good.
playing into the emotions they never get to use. It's been fun. This day has been a day. This last session has been a session of discovery, of emotional intelligence. Really,
Wow.
puberty 2, electric boogaloo.
What growth.
Don't you love character arcs, folks? Don't you love character development? Wow.
They laughed
Scene.
for the first
Continue.
time.
It's true.
They
So much
willingly
is
offered a
happening.
hug.
I'm so proud of them.
We're making huge strides in Nimra
It's almost-
emotion growth.
It's
here.
almost like the childhood bedroom was an allegory for them re-experiencing and learning themselves after puberty and like growing up. I intended that. I totally thought about that. Not on the spot right now.
planned. We're
Super
deeply-
professional.
We are emotionally intelligent people capable of planning these things with intent. It's true.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she will move in to give them a hug. It is very different than the previous hug. But she will do it.
Do you think it's gonna be just as awkward different? Or like, do you think it's gonna be a little bit more practice different?
I think for her, well, I guess it was yesterday.
Yeah.
She was a lot warmer in her hug, in her side of the hug, I guess, than she is today. But it's still there. On her
Funny
side.
Funny how the turns are tabled because Nimra's a lot warmer this time. Has a little squeeze.
A
I don't think-
squeeze.
I don't think
Whoa.
they've graduated to learning like to pat your back. I don't think they've graduated
Welcome.
that
More
far.
practice.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Each hug develops further. We got hug levels here.
yeah.
Okay?
Mm-hmm.
This time it's
Nim-
not just limply having their arms around you.
Yeah. Nim's now got the level 2 hugger feet, you know? And so on.
With practice, this will only grow.
Now I'm picturing like Nimra in their room, like hugging pillows to make sure that they're getting it right. No, that's not right. Taking notes, too hard,
Okay.
too soft.
I need to go give Ciliana a hug. I must practice. On the pillow, just one at a time. No, that's not right.
We joke, but they probably would.
Yeah, I'm not
Realistically.
joking.
Yeah,
Eventually,
what's their experimental design?
Yeah.
when this campaign is over, I'm NPCing these characters. I need to know them. And I know Nimra practiced hugging a pillow before going over there.
Yeah, what do you think they were doing last night when they were hugging Carrie Ash's pillow?
Practice. Exactly.
Practice.
Practicing.
Gosh.
Thank you. And Nimra will let you go. If you would like an ear, mine are quite large and capable of listening. That's how jokes work, correct? I've read very recently, I've read that typically lightens the mood. I'm unsure if I executed that properly, but we can workshop that.
You did great. And she will just kind of like straighten herself, get back into the zone. I have a question for you.
Of course.
You are our resident expert. How difficult would it be to contact the Lord of the Hells personally? If that will help us, aid us in getting this done, what would that be?
Great question for the DM. Would
Religion
Nimra know?
check.
Doing a what?
Religion check.
Oh, I love this. I love the fact that
Religion?
we've turned it. We're like
Ugh.
whisper campaign, just everybody.
Yeah.
How does Asmodeus find out about this? Everybody's trying to figure out like how do we tell the big guy that he's being usurped?
And I'll say, I'll say in
I
this
just had to double
specific
check.
instance, Mac, I'll give you advantage also. Because if there's any god Nimra knows about, it would be the Lord of the Hells. It stands to reason that that's a focal point of research as well. I'll give you advantage on it.
Yeah, I was gonna say intelligence checks to recall information about them from favored enemy anyways, so.
Oh yeah, okay. And this is religions is intelligence. I didn't remember if it was intelligence or wisdom. Yes, I mean you have it anyway. You're welcome, I guess, for nothing.
Roll
almost
3,
like-
take the highest.
It's almost like I chose to have Nimra be a ranger for
A reason. Yeah.
Oh, the ranger things are coming back. The shield, this is great. We love this.
Now we just have to get them in medium armor,
Well,
which they have proficiency in.
we're going to Gilmore and we can pick
Yeah,
out
we're
whatever we
going
want.
shopping.
So
Spare me on how much art I need to get you
And
guys.
let Daddy Haster kit you out.
Yeah, this is one just huge plot for Nimra to be a sugar baby.
Yes.
Yeah, it's working.
Whatever works.
Okay, so let's do first roll. Oh, okay. Not two very good rolls. Show the hee hee.
ooh,
Oh wait.
There's a 20.
I don't know if
there.
you can see it,
I
but
can't
it was
see
a
shit.
14. 14 and a 20.
Oh, okay,
Ooh.
20. Yeah, the 20 will do it. What's the total on the 20?
24.
So, what you know, generally for all of the deities, Prime and Betrayer alike, they are behind the Divine Gate. This makes contact with them a less than simple matter. Typically, speaking to a deity that one worships is more, as one might expect, an act of faith, of following the tenets of these deities and hoping that they are watching over you and listening, though it is far from unheard of that the gods do have more direct means of communication. Though typically, that comes from clerical magic, from divine magic, conducting specific magical rituals under certain circumstances to attempt to reach out to speak to a god. And the same would apply whether this is a prime deity or a betrayer god, regardless. The Lord of the Hells being a betrayer god, it would stand to reason that the best way for a mortal to contact them that would be through divine magic. And if one doesn't possess that themselves, that means finding someone who does. And although normally not, if you have the resources, the connections, it wouldn't be impossible to seek out a powerful cleric of any given deity and request that they maybe perform this act for you. You don't really want to go around town and asking if anyone can reach the Lord of the Hells. Not a popular thing to be doing. So it's very possible. It's a matter of finding someone who'd be willing to, if you're not able to yourself. And you do also knowing that Mal has a touch of divine magic about them, as does Rick, you don't need to follow a god to use that magic to contact them. You can follow a different one and still reach out to the one. So, with regards to what's the best way there, that's what you'd know to convey.
Well, Celiana, typically to reach out to a god, you have to have some sort of connection to, well, any god, really. Any sort of cleric, acolyte, person of the cloth would suffice. The more powerful, the better. And ideally, a follower of, would Nimrus say the name?
You don't, they don't really go by the names. They go by the titles. Setting specific, technically, if we're being...
Yeah, that's why I stopped myself.
Yeah.
And it's the Lord of the Hells in this one,
The Lord
right?
of the Hells, yes. Personally, my least favorite. It's such a mouthful. Give him a shorter title. Matthew. Anyway.
Matthew.
That's crazy.
We're gonna clip that and send
Don't
it.
do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that.
No, cut that and send it to him.
Don't do that. Don't do that.
Clip it.
Don't do that to me.
It'll put us on their radar.
Yeah, see, we love you.
I'm so normal. You can trust me with your setting. Okay.
Oh, so normal.
We're all
We
very
love-
normal.
Super normal, Ruby.
Whatever.
It wouldn't be out of the question to find a trustworthy, perhaps, cleric to perform a ritual to get us to speak to the Lord of the Hells. Though in my personal experience, this typically does not work. Normally, these people of the cloth do not enjoy speaking of the betrayer gods, especially if they are not worshippers themselves. If we can find a trustworthy, powerful, divine worshipper, perfect. We could see if they would do a ritual for us. Otherwise, we have to find a follower of the Lord of the Hells, likely in hell. And that would be trusting yet another devil to get in contact. Does that answer your question? I do
think so.
have... I have at least two in mind, should you want to pursue this avenue. Miss Vankram, perhaps. Or do you remember the cleric we travel with on behalf of Anzu? His guardian?
Yes.
Sister Celine may also be an avenue we could pursue. There is no, well, I can't say there's no harm in asking. As well as... Oh, what was the name of that character in Sigil?
Oh, yeah. Baby
It was
girl who's
Aquilina,
lost.
wasn't it?
Aquilina.
Aquilina.
Oh, it's okay. This was just a
Yeah, that was
Gwen and Mac thing.
outside of you guys. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh.
Wait,
No.
you did meet her when you all
Briefly.
went
Oh,
to
yeah,
see
yeah.
Anzu
At the
briefly.
first.
Okay.
Yeah, you
I
didn't
agree
see
with you
her
guys.
whole deal, but yeah.
Rick did not meet her.
Who?
Oh, true, because that was before you guys got to
Yeah,
Rick.
she was
Yeah,
the
yeah.
vigil personal guardian
sister.
of...
No, I
Yeah.
didn't meet her.
Yeah,
Probably
that's right,
good thing.
because you were after that, right? That was after. Got it.
Yeah,
I
the
remember
tall,
now.
cool, and beautiful vigil.
Sorry, folks. This was like 7 months ago, so I'm not
Yeah.
super fresh up here.
She was imprinted in my brain, so I very much so remember her.
I'm glad. I like.
You can't just throw a beautiful woman in front of me and just not expect me. Come
so
on.
real. So same, honestly. That's why all my women in this world are beautiful. All women are queens here, really.
Real. Yes, I'm glad we're on the same wavelength, Ruby. Brain to
Fellas,
brain.
you gotta work for it. Ladies, all of you are beautiful. Okay, anyway. So where are we going now? Where are we going? What continue your conversation, sorry.
Yeah. Or, if you remember Aquilina in Sigil, should we find ourselves back there? She, if I recall correctly, was also quite powerful. Though I do wonder, do you really think that all of this is happening beneath the nose of the Lord of the Hells? How could he not know what's happening in his domain at this scale?
That's the question. Hasta seemed very sure that the Lord of the Hells would be upset. But how do we know he's not involved?
This is where Hasta and I might disagree. Though I assume he probably knows better, I can't help but be suspicious. At least of the Lord of the Hells. I doubt this is the work of a single non-archdevil. I assume you're on the same line of thinking as I am.
It's very confusing due to the fact that they were spreading the rumors about the Unmaker. And Anzu gave us information about some archdevil attempting to ascend, or whatever. But that does not really line up fully if this is not an archdevil. So what does Anzu know that is true? And what Does Anzu know anything true? Is the question.
The more information we find out, the less I'm inclined to think he does. It wouldn't. No, I can't say that. It might hurt to ask. We very well could sour tensions, break our contract. Though there wouldn't be much remorse on our end for that. It wasn't a pact. We won't be turned into lemures.
I'll trust you on that. It feels like I have no clue what they're talking about right now. Sure.
Oh, if Seal looks confused at all, Nimmer would want to start info dumping about the process of breaking a pact, becoming a lemure, lemurdom, so on and so forth.
Good.
I love the idea that happens, and then there's like a knock on the door 8 minutes later. This is are we ready to go?
That's, I think, where that conversation ends.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Oh, so real.
We're growing, guys. This is group bonding. Okay, great. So, unless there's anyone else I forgot or who's thought of something, then, yeah, you gather up your things and reunite in Haster's office. And as you kind of get together and make your way there,
hello, hi, surprise. It's Ruby editing again. I'm interjecting something because I forgot to mention it. I'm about to describe Melancholy's new appearance and stuff, and showcase her new art for the first time. I know it happened several sessions ago, and that I've been using her old appearance in all the stuff still because I was waiting for the art, and now it's ready. Surprise! But I also forgot to mention, which is why I'm here, to interject and mention that her class is different. It's technically been different since she changed appearances, but now you will see that updated information in the cycle and all that stuff. Thank you.
Melancholy's in there kind of waiting for you. She looks a little different. She's got her outfit that doesn't fit her anymore is gone. She's got like this kind of black and gray sort of like romper on that like cuts off above her knees, and she's got this sort of what mechanically is a chain shirt, but it's not very shirt-like. It's like a big sort of like chest piece of chainmail that kind of has these like ornate rings that come around the back, and then like a collar piece that holds on around her neck. And she's leaning on a massive pole arm, like a huge halberd with two little ribbons around the end. It's this big old axe with a spear on the top. Which means I can finally actually show you guys what she looks like now.
Ooh.
Fun.
New art, new art, new art.
Yeah.
We love to see it.
We love doing that. Wait, this one doesn't really work because of disc. It's okay. You can open it in a separate tab if you can't see this part. There we go. And then on the screen, yay, everybody gets to see it. Woo.
Oh, wow, she's incredibly different.
Yeah,
Very
she's
Oh.
huge and is complete. Yeah, it's mostly completely different. Yeah, as was described previously, the gray skin, the yellow sort of colored tail barb is now all black. She's got the scars, and she's got her new outfit, and she kind of there waiting for you guys, kind of posted, leaning up against it, just sort of, hey, I got my stuff back, so I'm ready to. I'm more. I'm not out of my elements anymore, so I should be more useful, generally speaking.
You were useful before. What do you mean more useful?
I got hit twice and I fell unconscious. That's kind of dangerous.
I got my insides ripped out of me and I fell unconscious.
I died.
I've had my insides ripped out of me, but I haven't passed out. Yeah, that too.
Are we just continuing to dump trauma together, or is this
Oh,
bonding?
mine wasn't trauma. Mine was. I'm not doing that. It's fine. You're alive now. Your insides are back in. We don't have to compete, guys. Sorry, I
Is this a
brought
competition?
it up. No,
Rick just points. There she is.
I just. Never mind. I didn't mean to start.
Do we need to
fucking-
elect someone to wear colorful patterns now? Because I feel like we all kind of we're very matchy now.
We're all fucking gray now, aren't we? Who's not?
Yeah.
Who's left that isn't gray? There's like 2 of us now. Right. Malin, all right. You 2 need to gray the fuck up, really. I think we need to be all color matching. So,
Rick looks at his sleeves, and he's like, "There's probably some opening for patching right here. We could have a conversation about."
Yeah, I don't condone skin color alteration. Let's just see if it happens naturally. But you need some clothes at least to gray up, right? That's all I'm getting at. Anyway.
But you're still with us, Mel.
Yeah, fuck else I'm gonna do, right? So, for what it's worth, if we're going back to the reserve, I'm hiding in Nim's office because I can't let my sister see me like this. So, she has no idea this happened. So I'm already bad enough in that position. I don't feel like explaining it to her. So I'm gonna hang out in there. That's where we're going. That's where we're going, right?
That Rick looks at the rest of the group. That is where we're going.
I think so. I think that's what we agreed on.
Okay, cool. All right, sure. Then, yeah, that's probably where I'll go unless she's gone. So, like, if one of you knows she's gone, you can come get me. But otherwise, come get me when we're leaving.
Okay.
And kind of standing in Hash's office's yard when you found her there, he sort of kind of gets up and comes out from behind his desk and just, is it safe to assume we're ready to go?
Yep.
Let's go.
That would be correct.
Now, you're headed to the reserve, back to where we were. Should I stick around? Are you planning to go elsewhere today? Or will you be staying the evening in Westron that you know of?
Well, the hope would be that we get the information we need quickly. Is there anything else in Westeron we need?
Do we want to talk to Onzu in person? Oh, Western, right?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Perhaps. Provided that he's there, I wouldn't see why not.
Then may I propose that we head to restaurant to have our conversations. And you, Hastor, you can get started on what you need to do. They all, and he motions to most of the people in the party, have a way of getting in touch with you should we need to go somewhere else, yes?
All right.
Oh, don't look so sad. Did you want to come party with us?
Do you want me to?
Absolutely not. Sorry, was that too quick? Rick just sort of cocks an eyebrow.
It's all right. You'll admit your feelings eventually. So, hands together, please. And he'll just hold out one hand in either direction until you've clasped hands and formed a circle. We have just enough. Yeah, we have space for one more person, so let's not recruit any more than one more person or he can't do this all at once anymore.
Okay, that's good. That's good for me as the designated recruiter of the party. That's good for me.
Right. Yeah.
You have
It can
one
do
more
up
spot.
to 8 people, and that's no. You technically can fit 2 because that's including himself 8 more people. So you technically
Oh,
have
good.
2
I've
slots.
got 2 open spots. All right, cool.
I'm sure I can manage 3 DMPCs at once. So
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
hands
I
out.
believe in you, Ruby. You're so talented. It'll
Thank
be
you.
great.
So yeah, he takes your hands and begins the process. This being slightly different than before. And now this time, as you come back, you are closer in sensation and feeling to when you came back from Sigil. It's faster because if we're talking cosmology wise, it is closer. But you do have this moment where when the plane shift spell activates and you are pulled through space, you sort of tumble a moment. It's not instantaneous. And you have that brief moment where you can see the lattice work of divine magic that envelops Exandria and forms the divine gate before you come through it and feel yourself have to physically push through it and arrive. And on the other side of that is when it sort of becomes instantaneous and you appear where intended, which in this case is just actually I should probably
Right in the middle of the library while they're doing investigations.
And if not there, Nimra's office?
Yeah, that's
Probably
where he's
Nimra's
going.
office.
It's that's where he left, so that's where he came back. Into Nimra's office, right on the ash pile, just kind of up in the air. And that's where you catch your feet. And you see as you do, he sort of steps back. Welcome home. And will sort of briefly cast the spell on himself and completely sort of shift his visage down to the same young woman in cobalt soul attire that pulled you aside the day before and just okay, I'll get to work and I'll lay low. You know my face, so come find me if you need me, whether it's to go elsewhere or otherwise. If not, I'll be gone by evening back home. And then you can just call me. Good luck, team. Have fun, Hellraisers. And sort of just out the door and leaving you to it.
Rick shivers a little bit. I don't like that.
That's the second time he's called us to that. Is that?
I know. Team. It's just weird.
Not what I was referring to, but all right.
I don't know. Hellraisers is kind of cool. A little badass.
Kind of fucked, to be honest.
Are worse things to be called.
And, like, let's be real. I don't think you guys are going to come up with a name anytime soon. So, if you want one, that's free. Do you think he keeps, like... Do you think he has, like, a little folder in his filing cabinet and that's what we are in there? Like, that's how he finds it? Are we in the H section? I wonder what that's about. But yeah, free name. No thinking required. Good for us. My ideas were not any good, and I did not want to be ridiculed, so... As you know,
well, we have to be clear about how it is spelled. We don't want to be monogrammed inappropriately. It definitely needs to. And Rick's gonna go to try to spell it, and then realize that he's thinking in giant, and it's not right in common. No, that doesn't work. Well, no, that doesn't. You know what? It is making my brain hurt. Let us go talk to who we need to talk to.
Yeah, let's maybe worry about it until somebody asks us. Not worry.
Yeah, it's until we actually have to write it down like on an official form.
Yeah, it's not real till then. So
I agree.
Oh, that makes me feel better. Thank you, Mel.
No problem, Chief.
Ooh.
So, who cares? What now? What do we do now? We got specific people to talk to. Are we splitting up? Are we sticking together? Are we doing some
Well, from what I
investigating?
remember, you're doing nothing, so...
Ooh.
Well, Okay. I'm just asking where we're going. Teamwork. So, but okay, I'll just sort of hang out. I'll wait until they go where I gotta go.
Well, we need to find Question to get our sending stone back because I forgot that Rick gave that to her. We need to talk
I
to
feel
Yulika.
grossly awkward, so I'm just gonna go do that. I'll go find Question. Bye. She's at the door.
Oh.
Ooh.
Okay. I believe we have to speak to
Yelika.
Yulika.
Mhm.
And I most definitely would like to have a conversation with, assuming the archive has a head of security. I am most intrigued as to how an incursion such as that was able to, yeah.
I assume
I need to know how they did it.
above table, obviously Nimmer would know all of these names. I presume.
All of these names, like of
Yeah,
what do you
like
mean?
if there is a head of security, I'm assuming Nimmer would probably
Yeah.
know.
Yeah, for sure.
Or if there's any
And
expositors at this reserve as well.
yeah,
That would probably
I
make
mean,
sense.
at this rate, of the ones that are living, the head of security is dead. So because we went over
Yeah.
who died last time, most of the reserve is out of commission. At this rate,
I'm going to be honest. I was pretty sure you were going to push me to Nimra's parents.
I mean,
Because mom is probably the one who can give me the most information on how security works at an archive.
Real.
I mean, as is, you don't know who in the chain of command would be in charge of that right now.
Well,
So
I'm
probably
more
need to
than
ask.
happy to go ask. Yes.
Well, maybe we just divide and conquer because I do think there are a few places we could visit. Or at least in terms of people we could talk to.
This is true. At least in Westrun. Celiana and I had discussed potentially, well, we all discussed talking to Onsu. And currently in Westrun, we've already got Melancholy looking for Question. We can talk to Yelika. And it seems as if Rick is interested in speaking to Expositor Adri. Because I do not know who in the chain of command is alive. After this, I'm saw the body of our head of security.
Very well. Then that is where I will start.
Did Rick see Nimmer's parents? Who was in the room with them?
Well, I was in the room, right, because she was one of the first ones in the room, right after the fight was done. So Rick may not be aware of your relationship to her, but he's very aware that a well-armored woman entered the room. She's definitely where we start asking questions.
Yeah, you would have seen when her and Joy came through.
Yeah.
And then later on, Security Joel as well. Before you were out of the room.
Joy would be a good intermediary as well for Alora.
Mm-hmm. Do we want to tackle these head-on together, or do we want to split up and speak to each individually? We have what? Question, Joy, Expositor Adri, Yelika. That's already 4 leads in Westrun to speak to. Not to count that maybe Curator Udrol might know about the scrolls, or other archives with information on them.
Honestly, I don't like splitting up, but I think it may be the fastest way to gather information, especially since we have a way to communicate with one another rather efficiently.
This is true. Now it's a matter of who talks to who. It seems as if Rick wants to talk to the expositor. Celiana has questions for Ansu. Huxley. Mal. Do either of you two feel any inclination of speaking to Joy or Yelika? Or you, Droll?
I wouldn't mind getting in. I could get in contact with the curator. Might be a good way to try to liaison information between different soul.
Mal?
I suppose I could go talk to Joy, see if Eldora is willing or able to render assistance.
And when do we want to meet back? I presume we might talk about this over book, as Huxley had implied. And what time of day is it? It's probably morning, right?
When you get back, yeah, it's morning. You'd be able to tell. It's somewhere between 9 and 11. You don't know specifically, but once you get into the library, you could probably get a read based on where the sun's at.
say
So then
9
let
and
me
11?
make. Yeah. Let me make
Well, no,
You know, so,
my
you know,
first
it's-
thought was like sometime after lunch. I don't know why, it just
Oh.
was.
I,
Just was. I was like,
that's not where I thought we were going. I was about to make a joke. So let me make a note of
I was-
where. But thank you. Of where
Me
we're
too,
at.
Ruby.
Who's going where? It's got to have a time that I don't forget. So we've got. All right, Rick is meeting with the expositor. Dude, I'm sorry. I was gonna wait till after the break, but I can't type on my keyboard with these stupid paws on. Sorry. Sorry to all my furries out there. I'm abandoning you. All right, Rick is meeting with the expositor. Mal is meeting with Joy. Huxley, you're going after Curator Droll. And Celiana, you're going to see Ansu, yes? Okay, and Nimra, what are you doing?
Yelika.
Okay. And then Melancholy's going to find question. Okay, boop, noted. All right. So, okay. Then notes made. And yes, you can always reach out to each other by book and set a time as to when and where to come back. You head out to go track down your queries. For several of you, it does not take much time or effort. So you'll find as you're going through, the bodies have been cleared. Much of the damage has been repaired. What's left is some of the holes in the walls. Those are in the midst of being repaired. And you see a lot more people here once you're actually out. There are a number of new faces, both of the scholarly and maybe more monkish flavorings of Cobalt Soul types, right? And Nimra, as you go through the halls, you recognize some of these faces from times you've left the reserve to go elsewhere, some from Amon, a good number from out in Wildmount as well, sort of present in this operation. And arriving to the central library, this is where you'll pick out and find the faces some of you are looking for without too much effort. Joy is kind of at a table with a number of things kind of spread out in front of her, mostly papers and stuff that she's kind of poring over. The expositor is in the midst of conversation with a couple of other people there, and kind of on the far side, which would take a perception check, but I know at least Rick has high enough with his insane passive to notice. Tucked like deliberately out of sight into like a spot in the bookshelves. Melancholy is frantically looking in Joy's direction while talking to Question, tucked into the bookshelves. And you see Yalika with them as well. And besides that, you also see Nimra. You would also, if I can find it, you would also recognize amongst them Valreich as well with them. But the curator, whose role is not in this space that you can see, obviously Anzu isn't either. Though Celiana and Nimra, you'd both know where you could go to find Anzu and the whole process to speak with him. But at the moment, yeah, curator usual is the one who's MIA as to where and when you can find him. So, but with that in mind, set out, approach your queries, approach your targets. Celiana leaving the reserve to do so, and heading out into the city. Safe enough to assume you'd let the others know, but leave that up to you. Where specifically you're going, but you've got to navigate further into the city to the opposite side of the city from the reserve and find your way down underneath the city into that sort of underground district to find him, and kind of each approach and begin your conversations, and that's where we're going to go to break. We'll take a moment there.
Just a series of split
And-
screens.
Yeah,
So
just
good.
Yeah.
I could
splitting
see
up.
it.
Yeah.
I could see it.
Yeah.
Just 5 anime slots. Just
There you go.
everybody move.
That's the best part, is visualizing it that way. And yeah, we'll go to break, and we'll be back in a few. We'll pick up with our info gathering with our conversations. Be back soon.
Yay!
I've dug my hole deep enough. Thank you.
Yes, somebody take
Hello,
the shovel.
welcome back. Nothing was happening. We were all gone until right this second. All right, so
Did somebody else taste sand in their mouth? Or is
shut
it
the
just
hell
me?
up. We have people to talk to. So, who wants to go first, if anyone?
Rollies?
Sure,
Rollies.
rollies.
Yeah.
Or I guess that means I also have to
Yeah.
roll these because
Oh yeah.
I'm not winning that. Okay, I'll start.
Oh
8.
man.
8 for melancholy.
12 for Mal.
Okay.
9.
I wasted my natural 20 on this.
Oh,
God, fuck.
that's the worst. At least I only rolled an 8.
I also rolled an 8.
Wow.
Okay, so rollies between the 3 of us because Mel rolled an 8 also.
What the hell?
Okay.
What a heck?
I got a 1.
Wait, which hell? As long as it's
Oh.
not the 7th player, I'm fine. Uh, 11.
11. Okay. Then you're all right. So then Nim, you're up first. Then we'll go to Mal, then Hux, then Rick, then Celiana, and then Melancholy at the end, which I mean Melancholy kind of wraps into Nimra anyway, because they're in the same place. Alright. So Nimra, making your way across to where you spotted her. You see Yalika with Question, Melancholy, and Valrai tucked into the bookshelves near the front entrance when you arrive. And I will make a note, everyone. Sorry. Yalika's accent has changed like 3 times since I first introduced her. I remember what it is now, though. So I'm back to
Oh.
the correct place. In case that confused anyone before, that was my fault.
I was thoroughly confused. It took
Thank
me
you.
out of the narrative. I didn't know where
I'm so
we
sorry.
were.
Fucking suck at this. I just should
I-
give up. You do it.
I'm gonna be
So-
so fucking for real. I didn't realize you did a different accent.
I know no one did. I don't think anyone actually did. I noticed when I was editing, I was like, wait a minute. Oh, because I forgot to write it down the first time I did it. Anyway, all right. You find her. They're sort of in, like I said, Mel's kind of trying to keep out of sight, and they're in the midst of some sort of long form conversation when they notice you approach, and both Yalika and Valrai both kind of see you and give you a quick acknowledgement and wave you over. And as you kind of come up, Question's the first to sort of speak to you directly and just, oh, hello, hi. It's good to see you again in one piece. We're sorry, we were just in the middle of the, hello. You're okay. That's good.
Hello, Yulika. It is nice to see your face again as well.
That was Question
will-
who said that to you, by the way.
Oh.
Just in case you're not being rude to Question on purpose.
Not being
clarify.
rude to Question on purpose.
Okay, got it.
Did not
Yeah,
realize
she's-
whose voice that was.
Yeah, sorry. They're all now. Several of them sound the same instead. Yeah, she was the one speaking to you, who acknowledged you when you came up. Though Valrai and Jellica did like sort of nod, acknowledge your presence, give you smiles, came up. But she was the one who spoke to you directly, sort of
Okay.
talking about what they're talking about.
Hello, Question. It is lovely to see you again as well.
We were just going over sort of everything, really. Melancholy came to ask about sort of what we figured out and where we were at and stuff. So, getting there, talking with your friends actually, quite useful. But I think and important, probably stuff we should discuss. It's good you're here. And yeah, Yelika interjects and just we've been sort of trying to go over what the objective was here, what they wanted, what they were after, that sort of thing. And thankfully, we were lucky enough that Valrai survived the ordeal. And well, by not being present at the time. And if you wouldn't mind, actually, filling them in on where we're at. And that's when she actually goes to speak, or when they actually go to speak. Go ahead and tell us what they look like, Mac. What Valray looks like, since they're your
Okay.
coworker.
Yeah. Valrai is a tiefling as well. Tons of them in this area, I guess. With sort of like a golden ochre skin tone. And then, oh my god, I forget what horns I gave them. Oh, man. Let me just scramble to pull that up real quick.
Quickly, scroll back.
Oh, please, for the love of God, Discord work for once in my life.
I think I've got it here somewhere.
No, I scrolled. Okay, cool.
Okay.
They have horns protruding out of like their forehead that go, rather than like mouths where they go kind of back, theirs go off perpendicular. So they go off to like they're parallel with their shoulders essentially, going out in that kind of curve as well. They have also golden eyes. They're of like average height, so they're around 5'6", 5'7", and they look a little bit older, and half their head is shaved. So they have essentially a side cut with short hair that kind of curls around their pretty prominent bone structure for their cheekbones. Also garbed in the kind of blues of the standard for the Cobalt Soul.
And yeah, as they're acknowledged and told to sort of fill you in, they give you a little bow and just yes, Yelika told me that they came for the scrolls, the ones we keep in the sort of restricted section, and lo and behold, that was my purview. I was assigned with that sort of rotation, and in my own academic interests, I've been taking a look, mostly at the request of the High Curator, to fill in the gaps of our knowledge of what we know, what we don't know. Now, I'll say this much. I've never read them in full. For good reason. Whatever drove this mage to madness in the first place, I wish to avoid the same happening to me, as has been advised to anyone peering through documents in the restricted section. They are often, if not known to be, assumed to be cursed in some way, oftentimes. So I didn't go too far into whereabouts in the scrolls they started turning to mad ramblings and mentions almost exclusively of the sightless and all this. But there are a number of interesting things in those scrolls, and assuming that they're not after something in the crazy bits, a lot of the scrolls consist of arcane machines, engines, various devices. Sort of, from what I know, in my further research of the man who wrote these, I believe he was, and again, this is circumstantial evidence has built this assumption, so take it with a grain of salt, but they seem to have been a sort of, typically the mages of the Age of Arcanum, the best of them, lived in the flying cities, Aor, in Avalier, in the likes. But this one didn't. He sort of traveled, almost was in doing contract work with these different cities, and a number of the sort of devices and arcane materials and contraptions and engines that these cities might use to operate. This was someone involved in their design, in their creation, in consultation, perhaps in pairs. I haven't been able to narrow down a specific function, but I know he didn't have loyalty to any one of the cities. Though in parts of his writing it's quite clear that he did carry the characteristic envy of a prideful mage to those wizards of Aor. He was longing for a position at the top of that city. It is known well now that Aor was the greatest of the flying cities, the greatest of the cities of the Age of Arcanum. It's not too surprising. So, at least as far as a first guess in all this that Erika filled me in on, if it's not something in the mad visions of the cyclists, then it could be any one of these numbers of contraptions, engines, plans for such things that they're looking to build. And I believe that's where you, I mean, right, lass? And you see a question now kind of acknowledged. Just yes. So here's my idea, right? We've been talking about it for a bit, and like I told you guys, this is no coincidence. I don't think. Last time when we first met, I was having dreams of magic artifacts and following my theories of mythic resonance, and wouldn't you know it, you showed up with the freaking artifact that I was dreaming about. Kind of crazy. So that's happening again, and here you are, and now they stole things they could be building. I think these things I'm seeing have to do with whatever they got this scroll for. If they're building something, maybe it's fuel, maybe it's a component, maybe it's a part they need to build it. You know, that's my guess. I don't know if we have any way of knowing for sure, but that's what I think. And I think these things, based on what you guys are up to, I don't know. We haven't talked about it yet, and I understand if you want to keep it to yourselves or even just talk to me like we did the first time. But I think these, and she pulls her sketchbook out of her bag and kind of starts flipping through. These are what matters now. I think these are what's important. And she comes to like one page where she's sort of drawn out all three of these things that she's been seeing, which she briefly talked you through and showed you back in Drusar, but now kind of laid out a bit more detailed, a bit more clear. You can see kind of, she's tried to fit them on one page. They're a little wonky in their proportions, but one, is a sort of, it's almost like, it's like a shattered kind of crystal, broken into a bunch of little pieces, to the point where as she's drawn them, they go from diamonds to little diamonds to like just lines on the paper representing these pieces. And she kind of points to the gem in the middle that's sort of cracked up, and this is it sort of all together, but this gem thing broken up, and then this, and she points at this this incredibly ornate looking tome, book, a grimoire, with just inlaid with all these sorts of kind of ornamental designs on the outside of it. No kind of text visible, no title. It's like it's a book. Nimra, in your experience, it kind of looks like a spell book, looks like a wizard spell book of some kind, if you didn't know any better. And then the last thing she points at is this kind of, like, I believe how I described it previously was, you know how a geode looks when it's closed. It's kind of a ball of rock, but it's got that kind of particular texture to it that might allow a experienced geologist or whatever the title is to recognize it as a geode, right? It's got that sort of recognizable look to it, and there's these little kind of on the outside of the gray sort of stone color to it. There are these little flecks of color, just little dots that in her little drawing basically are just dots on the gray of green, of red, of purple, and kind of as she points to this one, you see she kind of stops a minute, and all of you get this just deep set uncomfortable feeling looking at this little drawing. And you can't place it, but you do. In this case, all of you being Nimra and Melancholy, the ones present. But you get this sense like that looking at it. And she kind of shakes her head, pulls away from it, closes the book. I feel like this is important. And I'm sorry. I blabbed on like that and I forgot. You too weren't there, but your other friends, when I say last time, that's what I mean. I don't know if they filled you in. I met them ages ago in Wildmount. I was doing work for the soul for the temple in Bazozan. And we met, and well, I briefly touched on it before, but sorry, I get this sort of thing mixed up. I helped them sort of track down what they were doing. They were carrying this jewel that I had been dreaming about, and lo and behold, by the end of their story, they'd saved Elixion and sort of kind of proved my theory. So that's why I think it means something here. But I can't say for sure, I guess. But I think that's where we're at right now. And Yelika then sort of chimes in and just, yes, and well, the problem being, if these things are important, we have no idea what they are or where they are. So now we're sort of chasing those leads, seeing what we can find. Unless we get lucky and Question has more specific dreams about where they might be, we're sort of floating in the air on this right now.
I just have a couple of questions, if you would not mind providing some clarification.
Oh, I love questions.
Sure.
That's why. Anyway.
How did you first come across the idea of the Astoral Scrolls? For any of you present.
The idea, when you say the idea, what do you mean?
Of knowing that they exist.
Oh, okay. So in that, Valray will respond, well, when they were first found, it was a sort of unanimous decision that they be kept here. In your years here, the Zol often conduct expeditionary work and send scholars and expositors and archivists across Exandria to sort of gather what knowledge we can. We are a repository of knowledge. And not far from the city here, down south. From here, you can go to Kaimal, travel south a bit, and just off the road, I believe it's in a swamp down in that area, there is a large tower. Presumably this Astural's tower. That is where it was found, along with a smattering of his things, all laid about, long since lost to his mad writings of the sightless.
Can we get the name for that town? I didn't. That's like the one thing I didn't catch.
Let me be more specific and actually check the map and tell you whereabouts it is.
I smell an adventure. Side quest.
Woo!
Let's see. It
Good
is...
at collecting those.
Yeah.
Where are you? Is it... Oh, did I totally misdescribe where it is? Where are you? be a little. Oh wait! Oh my God! Did I lose it? Where'd you go?
Hey, friends, while we're waiting for Ruby to find this stuff, please,
Thank you.
by all means, comment your theories down below. The thumbs up, really important, going to help us. We got some very exciting news not long ago that we've broken containment and we're out there. So really anything you can do to help would be greatly appreciated. There it is.
Thank you. Found it. Yes. So it was a bit further south. So let me now describe out of character so I can look at the map and focus. So where you'd need to go, you go from West Run west to Kymel, follow the road south through Singorn and into the Storm Point Mountains. South of the town of Braunbog, which is in a swamp, is Retis, which is the tower. Let me write out all these names.
Thank you.
Much appreciated.
West from Restrin to Kymel. Kymel towards a bog. Mad Mage Tower in bog.
There we go. West of Westrun into Kymel, south past Singorn, across the Storm Point Mountains to Braunbog, misspelled south of Braunbog to Retis, which is Estrel's Tower.
Got it. All right.
Yeah, and as described, this was the tower's in ruins now. Upon its discovery, we found some out about him and found his scrolls. As you might know, thousands of pages of parchment, all filled with his writings. Apart from these devices, they're also full of alchemical formulas, powerful spells, esoteric star charts, and then, of course, the paranoid ramblings. And when it was found, I should say, I've been saying we, but this is a collected history, so I sort of just kind of compress it. But this Astural, his name was Clemaine Astural. He was killed in his madness by a hero of the age, who then took as many of the scrolls as he could find and sort of brought them home. And that hero who took him down was named Attribution. I'll put that name in here as well.
Thank you.
And there's more names.
Of course there's.
And this Humanor, their bloodline still lingers in our headmistress, actually, who at the moment is away in Rexentrum. But she, Estella Ladimar, who I know you know her, which you do, is the headmistress here at the reserve. She was the one who finally brought the scrolls. Correction. She's not the headmistress of the reserve. She's the headmistress of the West Hall Academy, which is the school in Westrun that works with the reserve. Sorry, I got the notes a little mixed up. She's the one who finally brought the scrolls here to the reserve after originally keeping them in the academy itself. Secretly keeping them in the observatory, and that was until, well, not too long ago when they were found, and we had a bit of a tizzy with the academy, but in the interest of keeping things all good. She agreed to relinquish them. This all happened, some couple decades ago, back when the whole Chroma Conclave ordeal happened, and good chunks of the city were brought to ruin. Well, its hiding place sort of fell apart. And in that, we found them, had a bit of a tense conversation, but things worked out. And in the interest of the greater good and keeping ourselves unified in the face of these threats that we were facing at the time, they were kept here in the reserve from that point forward. Until now. And let me put her name in there as well. There you go. Lots of names. And just the idea was to keep them in a more secure place where people knew of their existence, but obviously in the capacity of how we handle all our restricted materials. Keep them out of the wrong hands. It was clearly where they were at great risk of being found and put to use by less scrupulous individuals.
And how positive are you that you had all of the scrolls here in the reserve?
As positive as we can be, after speaking with the headmistress and, well, being thorough in our interview. We sent several expositors down to Retis to make sure that we had everything that was there, and have even made the effort of tracking down Umanor's old family home, checking there as well. We've been thorough. These are dangerous things. An entity unnamed anywhere else in history, it was concerning. So we put a lot of effort into it, I believe. If I recall correctly, a good chunk of this was done in collaboration with the Arcana Pansophical in Amon as well. Sort of a joint effort to put the pin in this, so to speak. We can't say for sure if there's no loose ends. I mean, the scrolls themselves are, like I said, thousands of pages, sort of loose. They weren't well organized or anything. If we're unlucky, there could be 1, 2, several pages lost out in the ether, but we're as confident as we can be that we had them all.
I feel like I had another question earlier, but...
Sorry, lots of lore on you, so easy to forget questions like that. Worst case scenario, if you remember it later, we can also loop back, but yeah.
And then I don't remember how much information I have written down on the site lists. Oh. Have you ever heard of somebody knowing of the scrolls but not remembering them? Is this commonplace?
I don't think so. I've kept my memory of what I've read in them, as did the High Curator. And as far as I know, anyone who's come into contact with them. Of course, if I read the ramblings and they erased themselves from my memory, I wouldn't know. But as far as I can currently remember, I haven't read them on purpose, and so I have no knowledge of that section of the scrolls. But the rest of it I remember pretty clearly.
Curious. I think it was above table. I think that was most things that we wanted
to talk about? Am I forgetting anything?
That's more than I thought we were gonna get.
Very likely. I am forgetting something, so that's what I'm asking.
Where they found the scrolls, what they did with them, who found them initially.
Yeah, if there was more was one of the questions that I really wanted to ask, and now we found out no, there should ideally not be more.
That
And then if we
seems
could-
like everything.
Yeah.
I guess you could ask what kinds of machines the scrolls had information on, so we can see kind of what they're building.
Yeah, I wanted to ask that. I'm also wondering whether or not Nimmer would pretty implicitly trust Valrai, bare minimum, and Yalika quite a bit more so now too. So they might mention, I think if we're gonna have question around a lot more now too, it might be good to have this little information network spread a little bit more. But before I do this as a player, I want to make sure everybody else is okay with it or thinks it's a good idea.
Oh, it is very much a bad idea, but in the best way possible.
Sorry, my fiance just texted me she got 9th overall in her autocross event.
It's awesome.
Oh,
Awesome.
Yay!
Yes.
She was 38th yesterday, so
Wow.
That's a marked improvement.
sorry.
That's okay. Good for you. You're watching, right? Supporting, obviously.
She actually does watch our stream.
We love your progress. It's true. No, right. It's
Yay.
true. She does. Sweet.
Okay. Yeah, it's a terrible idea in character, but it also... I think we can find a way around this.
To be fair, I'm the only one with an addendum in the contract that says I can't talk about it. So
Did either of you two see what had disposed of the High Curator? Question, I know I'm certain you were in the building.
I did. Yeah. I saw it before I started running.
That was what we have discovered to be a plaything of the master of those devils that were sent to raid our facility. What other machines were mentioned, Valrai?
Well, I presume this one you're talking about, Yanika told me. This machine that took the High Curator. Nothing of that sort. That was, I believe, and she's an automaton. Yes, right. Yes, no, nothing of the sort. That is, they are definitely mentioned in the scrolls as a point of envy. One thing he very greatly sought to create was life in the same way Aor did. But the things in the scrolls were more... They varied. Some were as mundane as propulsion devices for the city to more precisely control it. From what we know, the city is believed to have flown via the same means that the sky ships that fly across Exandria do, by a material called broomstone that is built into the ships on the bottom that, when activated, lifts them up into the sky. And it is believed the same material was used to levitate the cities, but actual precise control of them required specific arcane devices. There were examples of such devices, propulsion engines, and the like. And there was a couple mentioned, but I mean, all of them were sort of these various components, right? Almost like he was contracted out, like I said, to help fill in orders, fill in gaps, consulted for ideas and new designs to improve these things. He worked a lot in one city that we have yet to confirm if it is, it was only recently discovered, and the landscape around it implies that it wasn't one of the flying cities, though we're not sure. Out in Wildmount, there are a collection of ruins in the Dwendalian Empire, which have been dubbed the ruins of Shattengrot, an old city of the Age of Arcanum. It seems this Astero did much of his work with the people there. And it's unknown if this was a flying city or not, but it was all sort of the same kind of work. There are notes of more specific devices, but these weren't ones he worked on. Again, more points of envy. Something in Aeon, I forget the name. Some sort of manufactorum of some kind. There was a point of curiosity by him of something in Avalier as well, but based on what I read, if I recall correctly, this was unknown to him and many of the mages, so it sort of stuck in his mind as a point of curiosity, if I interpreted his text correctly. But I can't say there's any real sort of specificity in what he made beyond devices, contraptions, engines made to, I suppose, assist in the arcane processes of these cities. The problem is, so much of the magic from that time is lost to us. We don't know what these things did. You know, if you have a machine that in the modern day we don't know what it is, how it works, what it was for, how it was made, we have no way of knowing what a smaller part of that machine was either. And that's kind of a lot of what he was doing.
Above table, how much are you guys willing to bet that there is some schematics for a generator?
Oh,
like
yeah.
an arcane battery of sorts.
Oh, that's definitely in
Yeah.
there. That's definitely in there. Without a doubt. That's probably like page 2.
It's like we were joking earlier in this campaign about like infernal engines and the soul coins. And we're like, that's expensive. They need a more efficient fuel source down there.
Yeah.
Oh my god. So true. Yeah, that's
Yep.
their more efficient fuel source. Oh man, it's gonna be run on Ruinous Born, isn't it?
Mm.
Oh
It
my
already-
god.
It already is.
Oh.
Oh no.
Hey Ruby, isn't this what you wanted to hear?
Hey, man.
Ruby's taking notes furiously.
That's so smart.
That's real
Why
good.
didn't I think of that?
It is now.
Yeah, exactly.
God.
It is now. Oh, shit. All right. Arcane battery erase. Ruinous born battery.
That somehow seems more expensive, actually.
Once we're all done, I will reveal what was improvised, stolen from you, and what I planned. But you have to wait to the end to know that part.
And for those of you watching, you got to stay with us till the end.
Exactly.
Right?
Yep.
There's a
That's your
tell-all at
reward.
the end of this whole thing.
That's right.
You got to stick in there. Wow, that's so much more than I thought we were gonna get.
I know.
That happens to you every time you guys go
Yeah.
info digging. You get so much more than you're expecting. Aren't I nice?
Yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah, you're
Yeah.
best.
Count your
Ruby for
blessings.
DM of the year 2024.
Absolutely, putting it in now
For sure.
Yeah.
Not
Who-
every
We're all
year.
voting.
for your
Sure.
consideration.
Eat your heart out, Mr. Mulligan. Anyway.
Oh,
Wow.
So-
Okay, so in this episode, we took on Mercer and Mulligan. You want to start calling out some other
They're
people?
my idols!
already?
I'm allowed to do that as a joke.
Any McElroys you want to add in there?
Listen! I
Yeah,
would
the
do
old
anything to
coming
hold
you
Brennan Lee
next.
Mulligan's hand one time, okay? Leave me alone. I'm allowed to do that as a joke.
I will
I love
say
you, Brennan.
if
One
you
day
start to
you'll
go
see
after Abria, that's when I'm gonna stop supporting that.
Yeah,
Okay.
I
Alright,
regard it safe.
Abria,
I draw
you're
the line
safe.
at her.
Abria, you're safe.
Abria's
Not
safe.
saying nothing to you. Not a word out of me. Put me on
Other
next to you,
than-
please. Anyway,
Other
so
than how great of a DM she is.
yeah,
Because we uplift women here, you know?
so true.
We've already mentioned
Hashtag
that.
feminism. That's
down,
right.
Down with the patriarchy. Get the
That's
men out
right.
of here. All
Fuck
of them.
those other two. Actually. Anyway,
This is gonna
No.
get clipped.
Probably by one of us.
Probably.
please don't send that to Matt. Please don't tag Matthew. I'm so embarrassed. Be like, hey, you suck. Don't. Immediately get my ass. It's true. It's what I get. So
We
I'm
have the ability
Nimra does
to
have more
edit this all
questions,
out.
actually.
Yeah, Nimra, go.
not editing this out. Are you kidding?
Are there any recorded workings of Aeol?
Workings, like devices and the like.
Of his machinery, sure.
Of Asturos specifically.
No.
Just in general. Well, the Aormatons you find around occasionally. If you're lucky, one of them might even remember what it was like. But as far as I know, your best bet is also over in Wildmount. You can go to Aor yourself and see. Though that's if you're not ready to sneak in, you'll need to get some permission from quite powerful people. And by the state of things, that's harder to come by more and more these days. Of course, our associations might help, but the Crown and particularly the Cerberus Assembly and the Empire are quite unwilling to share. And they sort of have, well, they're making moves to, designate the historical site of Aor as an official excavation site of the crown of the Dredalian Empire, so it has made further investigation difficult. But it was a big city, and something that big coming down from that high creates quite a large crash site. You don't have to go in the front door.
Noted. Thank you for your time and for your information.
Of course. I don't know exactly what's going on, but Yalika and Question here and your friend Melancholy, they impressed the severity of the situation. I trusted their honesty in that, so wish to help how I can.
And Nimra is going to dip their head in thanks and then look over to Melancholy.
Is there anything else that we need here, or are we fine to bring Question with us to return the Sending Stone?
You want to come, girly? She's like, oh, am I part of the team? Yeah, I would love to come. Temporarily. You're an intern, okay? I got you, don't worry. We're cool. So, don't worry. She's not strong enough, she'll die, so we're not gonna keep her. So, I mean, if we're lucky, and what we know here is the whole truth, and it's what we need. I mean, I don't know. For me, I think the next thread we gotta pull on is whatever the hell these things are. Kind of gesturing to the Question sketchbook that she still has kind of under her arm. Because if she's right and they have something to do with each other, there's that.
We've already established above table that one of the things for Question's drawings was a soul anchor, right?
It was believed to be the soul anchor that previously kept Thordak, the Cinder King of the Chroma Conclave, in the elemental plane of fire, which was destroyed, shattered to a million pieces when Vox Machina defeated him.
As shown in her drawing. Shattered.
Mm-hmm.
And if it is, that really kind of only puts it in one place. That's under Amon. In the caverns, in the giant sinkhole that he made when he went down. I know the whole story. Scanlan has so many songs about it. But it's down there somewhere, if it's there, right? And on that note, since it's finally come around, that kind of officially puts us into chapter 2 of this whole thing, as we have coalesced all the lore and come round. Something for clarity, as this is only something we've discussed outside the off camera. I went ahead and, for funsies, organized all my notes into chapters of this sort of story. Chapter 1 being a little bloated because I was kind of trying to coalesce everything they were at to here. But Chapter 1, and I promised them I would reveal the titles as we progressed through these chapters. I made the concerted effort of picking out something that counts as, bullet points that they need to do to complete them so I can reveal the title because it's fun. You've officially, at this point, finished Chapter 1, The Conspiracy, and now move to Chapter 2, which is, let me pull it up here.
Oh, spoilers. Anybody plug your ears if you don't want to know what the title is.
Yeah, plug your titles, I guess. If you don't want to, plug your titles. Plug your ears if you don't want to know the title. That moves you formally into Chapter 2, which is titled Ancient Vestiges.
Ooh.
So specific, I know.
Oh, that tracks, given what we know.
Yeah.
Based on the amount of information we have learned so far.
Yeah.
And the trick is we all need to know when this is coming out, which is Halloween week. And we all need to sit down with our notebooks. And when we watch it, take additional notes.
Exactly.
Extra notes.
Yes.
And for those of you in the audience who immediately identified the problem with that plan, put it in the comments below.
That's right. All engagement is good engagement. So, that established. Nimra, where do you think you're off to next? From here, if anywhere.
They would probably start going around to either. I think they would go to Anzu next to help with Celiana's information gathering.
Okay.
Probably a good 20 to 30 minutes behind her.
Okay. Then next up on the list, I believe, was Mel. So you, looking for Joy, can rather easily find her, as I said before, at a table in the center of the reserves library, kind of papers all spread out in front of her, and kind of clearly sort of like kind of head in her hands, very stressed out, just kind of poring over the stuff. Though as you approach, she kind of glances up and just sort of, hey, hey, hi, how's it going?
Hi.
I remember you. I'm sorry, a lot going on.
Yeah, it's been a long couple days. Are you managing all right?
Much as I can. It's a lot of families to contact, so not fun, but doing what I can. Yeah. What about you guys? You all in one piece?
Somehow. Sort of miraculously, yeah. we're all intact.
Good. What do you need? Can I help? Do you need something?
Was actually hoping you could get a message to your boss for us.
Oh, to Miss Vysoren?
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah, sure. I can reach out. What do you need to tell her?
We're doing our best to track down a couple of leads about these scrolls. We were hoping maybe she had some related knowledge, anything we could use.
Sure. Okay. Do you want me to? Do you want her to just reach out to you guys? Should I ask her if she's free to meet sometime, someplace, or?
Yeah. We'll be in Western for a little while. There's a number of people we're going to talk to, so
Okay.
She reaches out, we'll be here.
Okay. Sure. I'm sure she can sort that out with you guys. Okay. Hold on. She'll pull a small kind of bit of copper wire and prep a spell and just Miss Vysoren, those folks you worked with tracking down Kraith, they'd like to speak with you about the Astral Scrolls. Reach out to them. Thanks. And tucks it away and just kind of holds a moment. Okay. All right. She said she'll try to reach out to one of you by the end of the day. So you should hear from her at some point today. At least for a moment. Yeah, of course. I could. Can I ask you for a favor? Actually, back.
What do you need?
I don't know if it's a favor so much as just a general question. What the fuck's wrong with my sister?
I'm not sure I follow. What do you mean?
I mean, she's traveling with you guys, right?
Yeah.
Why? I don't know. Sorry, this probably isn't. It's probably a bit loaded of a question. I guess, or a bit much. But does she say anything about why she's avoiding me, as if I can't see her avoiding me all the time?
She's said a little bit. I don't want to betray her privacy, as it were, but
yeah,
I know she cares a lot about you. She thinks about you a lot. And she believes that the choice she is making is the best for your family.
Figures.
I'm sorry, I wish I could be of more help.
No, it's fine. I shouldn't have put that on you anyway. Sorry, just a lot of heavy stuff going on. So sort of in that place mentally.
Yeah.
Thank you, though. Anyway.
Anytime.
For what it's worth, try to. I guess the favor is more so try to do me a favor and try to keep her head on her shoulders, please.
We'll do our absolute best.
Thanks.
She's one of us now. We'll look out for her. But
for better or worse for you guys, I guess.
You know, you can see her avoiding you, so I don't think you would have to look that hard if you really wanted to track her down.
Yeah. I figure she's doing so for a reason, though. So, what reason is there to do so for the better part of a decade? I don't know, but that's not for me to know right now, I guess. Yeah, I appreciate it. If you need anything else, I'll be here for a couple days still, and then I'm headed back to Amman. And you guys know where to find me. So
Thank you. Likewise. If you need
No problem.
anything, you know where to find us.
Will
I'll
do.
leave you to it. We'll be around a bit if you need any help.
Of course. Good luck with what you're doing.
Thank you. You too.
And back to it. And it's at that point also that you kind of notice what she's actually doing. She's been mostly writing letters. It's a lot of letters on the table. So handling that part of all this. And from there, Mal, where do you go from there?
Is there anybody like just like within my eye line or has everybody like really sort of scattered?
Of your group,
Mhm.
I mean, you'd be able to pick out Nimra and Melancholy as their conversation was a good deal longer than yours. So I'd imagine you'd see them as they're in conversation, as well as Rick with the expositor as well here, I believe. And then yes, that's everyone that would be here, because at this point Celiana would have left. Huxley, I've got to circle back to where you're going, since the curator wasn't here present, but Huxley presumably is like kind of just aimlessly looking around in there somewhere too. So
Picks up a book. Are you there?
I think I'll regroup with Nimra and Mal.
sure. You can find your way there, and presumably, to be a little fair, time making sense, probably catch at least a chunk of that conversation before they sort of resolve and go to move on from there. Nimra, you planning to go see Anzu along with Celiana? I think Mel would have probably taken question and just sort of made the point that they were going to find some place here, discuss stuff from there, kind of maybe pick apart her dreams a little bit together, and sort of wait for you guys to be ready to reconvene. They'd be waiting there, particularly since she's, Anzu's more your purview. She's leaving that to you. So at the moment from there, that's where they're going. So I guess I got to ask you twice. Mel, do you think you'd tag along with Nim to go see Anzu, or you'd stick with Mel and Question going over her like dream journal and stuff together?
I am interested in the dream journal, and also maybe want to take Mel for a very quiet word.
Okay. All right. Cool. Sure. All right. You can stick with them for a bit, and we'll circle back on that. Then yeah, Hux, I gotta ask you, what the heck are you doing?
I would probably. I'll ask just like, anyone who is around if they know where the curator is. And if they don't know, I would probably ask his wife if
Yeah.
she knows where the curator is.
Yeah. No, thankfully they can point you out to where he is. He returned to Amman to coordinate further efforts here, and then he's expected to go from there to Wildmount, to Exandria.
Gotcha. Okay, so he's just not here at all.
Before eventually returning back here. Yeah, but this is a process that's like over the next week or two. He's going to be doing that, so he's going to be not here for a little while.
All right, I will just kind of hang out then, I guess.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah, you can. You'd also fairly be able to pinpoint where the others are. So if there's anyone specific you want to stick to, you can, or just hang around in the library and do your own thing. Like I said, at this point, you would have also seen Nimra and Mel, and now as they disperse, Nimra leaving, Mel and Mal and Question at a table together, and Rick with the expositor there. If you want to stick to anyone specific,
I'll just kind of listen in on Rick's conversation. Like that's his whole shtick. But if I'm there, I'll be there.
Sure. Okay. Then second to last there, Rick.
Yes.
You come in to find the expositor as she was. Like I said, in brief conversation with a couple of people who come and go, and by the time you approach her, she sort of dismisses her current conversation, turns to sort of greet you, acknowledge you, give you a little bow of the head, and just acknowledge you as you approach. And just, may I help you?
I hope so, but let's be realistic. I was one of the first ones on the scene. I'm sure you are aware of this. You have probably been briefed.
On the scene here, you mean?
Yes, when the High Curator
Yes.
had his head blown off, yes.
Yes.
I was hoping, perhaps, you could help me understand how such a large incursion of devils occurs at a place such as this.
That's what we're looking to figure out. We typically have a number of wards in place, protective and sort of the anti-divination variety as well. Infiltration would require a physical infiltration under some sort of protective ward themselves, most likely. We're picking at what we have, but we don't exactly have, well, we don't really have anything actively recording at all times. We have, that's why we've called in help. We have people from Imon, people from Rexensham sort of lending their aid and analyzing the wards, analyzing the runic enchantments, just sort of going over all the security measures in the reserve to see if any were broken, any were notably diminished, dimmed, dispelled, that sort of thing. But it's very fresh. It's been a day. We haven't made much progress yet. But there must be a point that was broken for them to manage to do so.
And I would imagine that, and again, I don't presume to tell you how to do your job. I don't know what that entails, but I am sure you are aware of the breach mere 8 hours prior to the attack, yes?
The breach?
Yes. I don't know how much you know. I am traveling with Archivist Nimra. We had come to speak to a couple of her colleagues earlier in the morning before the sun had come up. We were informed by several expositors and a couple of curators in this library, while the moon was still high, that a devilish influence had been noted within. We went on our way. It was nearly 8-10 hours before the attack. I assume you are already aware of that and have looked into it, but that did stand out to me.
Yes, it was curious. I recall I am aware of what happened, though the specific details is what I'm trying to piece together. Whoever was actually looking into that is no longer with us. So we are currently awaiting the arrival of clerical assistants to get a chance to ask them questions and see if we can piece together a timeline. But at the moment, I am aware of it, but I need answers from people who can't give them to me yet to figure that out. But trust I am aware of it.
Okay. I was just, I wanted to lend what information I could, and obviously having traveled with the archivist, we do make our way to reserves and the like from time to time. I just thought whatever information you could share would be useful as we travel. If there is, in fact, a weakness within the security protocols, it would be helpful to be aware of those kinds of things.
Well, make a persuasion check. I do call for rolls, guys. Sometimes I do make you play the game.
I never accused you of any of that stuff. I
accuse myself. I often notice that I never do that, and I'm like, oh, I should make you roll something.
25.
Yeah, I don't know why I bother asking you for persuasion checks. Yeah, she just kind of nods and gives a little shrug and just. I suppose if I had to pinpoint a weakness, it would be overwhelming force. We are well protected, well warded. The effort is made to secure these places, especially in a place like the reserve. But at a certain point, we are limited in number. Enough overwhelming firepower on behalf of the enemy is enough to cause us a problem, particularly on short notice and through unexpected means. I'm trying to pinpoint if there was, I don't know, a
Of course.
portal maintained open, something of the sort that would allow me to see a weak spot. As is, with the knowledge I currently have, I can't pinpoint anything specific. Of course, if I find that they managed to open a portal in this part of the reserve where this specific enchantment was dispelled, we're going to go through and re-examine any similar enchantments at any other reserve, any other archive, but this is at the moment, like I said, it's still early going.
Rick kind of puts up his, yeah, of course. Again, overwhelming force, most often than not, is the most assured way to break through a defense.
Yes.
That does not surprise me, and I can assure you, the force was in fact quite overwhelming.
As I've heard.
If I may, and again, with this kind of breach occurring, and I assume valuables taken, does the soul have a protocol for moving other sensitive material? If they attacked here, they are bound to attack other places. Are you
Yes.
securing that which is most valuable and putting it someplace safer is the wrong word, but...
Well, we have made considerations. I can't speak to anything specific for obvious reasons, but...
Of course.
We are aware of our options, yes.
Of course. Well, I do appreciate you talking with me. It would appear that Rick kind of looks over. Most of my party seems to be on the move, and it is my job to protect them. So, thank you for your time. I obviously wish you the best, and I am not hard to find if you have any additional questions.
And you see she goes to shake your hand and kind of nod and just give you like a sort of course, as you speak. But she's watching Nimra leave as you say that, and just kind of staring at the door, and then kind of like doesn't realize she's still holding your hand, and then just kind of finishes shaking it. Just good luck with all that.
I assure you they are in reasonably safe hands.
That's all we can hope for.
Rick will turn, see Huxley there. Oh! It appears they're off. It occurred to me we sent Celiana alone to speak to Anzu. I do not know if that is necessarily good or bad. I have not talked to him. But Nimra should not be walking alone. So, would you like to stick around here, or would you like to join us on our stroll to wherever we are headed?
You know what? I may stick around here and see if there's anything they need help with, paperwork-wise. The curator is on the move and not currently accessible, so at least I don't have to talk to anyone, which is probably for the best.
Let us count that as a blessing.
I may send a quick message to Elixion. I have no idea where he is, but
yes,
I mean,
tell him I said hi, and that I'm putting his gift to good use.
All right, I can do that. You're also welcome to write to him if you feel the need.
Probably shouldn't.
Your handwriting can't be any worse than mine.
I don't know how to respond. Stay safe, and just a reminder, tactical retreat is a valid combat strategy. Should there be another breach.
You heard it here first, folks. Every player out there, you are allowed to run away. Just putting that out there for no specific reason.
I assure you, Huxley, we have been separated many times, but I always find the two of you. So, run if you have to. I'll find you.
I'll have you know that most of my spells have to do with hurting someone or running away, so I'm 50% of the way there.
Great.
The most
Rick
important tactic.
will, a little bit out of character, will like reach over and sort of ruffle Huxley's hair.
It burns.
He doesn't show any sort of at all. Nothing.
Part of it goes out and there's just smoke. Are you're oddly sentimental.
I don't know what you're talking about. Rick will turn on his heels and head towards Nimra.
Narrows his eyes. Now that I remembered it, I will. You don't have to respond now because I don't know where he is, but I will send a quick message to Alexian in my book, just asking if the names, or if Clemena Sturl, the Astoral Scrolls, or the Sightless mean anything to him. P.S. Rick says hi and thank you for the present. He's using it.
Okay. Then yeah, just it takes a little minute. You do get a response though. Hello. Good to hear from you. I am glad to hear Rick is getting something out of that. Hopefully the right things. Clemena Asturo sounds vaguely familiar. It feels like a name I might know, but I'm not sure. I'd have to perhaps take a moment to collect my thoughts. Is this something you suspect is from my time or whereabouts? Or is this just a general question?
As far as timelines go, I'm really bad at visualizing them.
So you have timeline-wise, the Age of Arcanum ended when the Calamity started, but the Calamity was a roughly 300-year event.
Gotcha.
From start to finish. You guys don't know exactly where Alexian lived in those 300 years, but he was a young man in his fighting prime. But that could have been 5 years into the Calamity, but it's more likely a good way in because of all you learned in that story. You know, the Betrayers had their fortress in Bazozan built. Like, the war was active and ongoing. They had time to establish these footholds of power, so it's safer to assume he wasn't actively fighting in the Calamity when it first started. So if that from there you can extrapolate if Clemane was alive in the Age of Arcanum, unless he was also alive during the Calamity, which you don't know when he died. But if he died in his age, he was dead before the Calamity. If he was alive during it, you have no idea when. So it's possible they overlap.
Okay.
It's possible he was dead before Alexian was even born.
Then I will respond. It's very likely something that was before your time. He was most prominently known for his work during the Age of Arcanum, but it's something that may be connected to everything that's going on right now. And if there was anyone that might know something about it, I thought you might be a good brain to pick.
Well, I'll take some time tonight, see what I can remember. And if I'm lucky, I might have someone who might know more if I don't. Are you okay with me giving them your name? Allowing them to reach out to you if necessary?
Of course, I don't mind. Just stay safe. I don't know if we've contacted you about this situation in particular, but Ruidus born are being abducted. And that might be something you would like to know.
It takes him a noticeably longer couple moments to respond. And yes, I think it is something I would like to know. Maybe if we're lucky, sooner than later, maybe we should get together again, catch up.
That's a good idea. We're a little bit more mobile now. I will get in contact with you once I've regrouped with everyone.
All right. Whenever you're ready, I can go to you or you can come to me. We can talk when we're ready.
I feel like he always just signs off his messages with his name because he's writing in the book, but they get to speak.
Yeah.
So it's kind of awkward.
His handwriting is like, it's kind of rough. Like, he's old, and you can see his age in his writing. But it sort of steadies in the signature where he does his best to, big ol' A, with it, to kind of sign it off. That's where his focused control of his muscles comes together to do so. Yeah, for sure. It's not like hugely elaborate, but it's also it's distinct. It's his.
Okay. Then I'll kind of linger in the area and I guess maybe Joy or whoever's in charge, see if there's anyone who needs assistance with either fixing things or organizing things or any busy work.
That's easy enough for sure. Plenty of people can point you to sort of cataloging and reorganization efforts being done to make sure they know everything that's there, everything that's not, inventory essentially. That's easy enough to do. And then that brings us to Seal. You will arrive well before the others catch up to you, navigating across Westrun and ultimately beneath it into the Underwalk ward, and navigating these tight, dimly lit underground streets to the place you remember being brought to meet with Anzu in the first place. You do find the same nondescript door that's tucked behind one of the buildings down here. Your go from here.
Great. I'm trying to remember what the door looked like. This was just like...
It's like a solid iron door. It's like it looks like it's nothing, but you remember it's a security thing. It's quite tough, yeah.
Okay.
But in appearance, it's rather nondescript.
Yeah, she definitely does not remember the specifics of anything, so she's just gonna knock on the door.
Okay. Yeah, nothing happens. And does she keep trying, or does she kind of knock once and then just kind of sit there and wait?
She'll knock once and then she doesn't hear anything, so she'll be like, "Hello,
okay,
Sister Celine."
So it takes a minute, and you find yourself sitting in silence after that for maybe 5 minutes. I would appreciate it if you didn't say my name out loud out in the middle of the street. Give me a moment, and I don't know. next time memorize the knock, please. And after a bit, you hear 1, and then 2, and then 3, and then 4, and then 5, and then 6, and then 7 locks being undone. And the door kind of grinding open just a bit, and they're peeking out now. Kind of visible for the first time here, folks. Technically on camera. Sister Celine's there waiting for you. She's in her now, as is peeking out from here. She's less she's less inconspicuous. She doesn't have her kind of coverings that she typically wears outside of this space. So the small kind of feathery wings and the extra set of eyes that she typically covers with the headband are all visible, and kind of her halo sits sort of just, oh, I have one, sort of sits dim above, dimly glowing above her head, and kind of, you know, her towering figure. She's taller still than you, so she kind of, not hugely tall, but taller than you, but still a bit. She kind of peeks out, and she's dressed in her armor, dressed in her guardian garb, right? And sort of kind of peeks out and looks around and just, all right, inside. And just kind of moves out of the way for you to step in. And we'll shut it behind you, and once again lock all the locks. And just, it's been a while since I've seen you. Pleasure. Are you headed to Seansu or something, or should I get him?
Yes, I think we are long overdue for a talk.
Yes, perhaps. All right, come. And she'll lead you down the steps and eventually into the large open space with the couple lanterns keeping it dimly lit. The 2 doors at the end, the same as you left it when you were last here. And once more asks you to give her a moment to wait and go fetch him. Couple minutes, and she'll come back with the familiar visage, the Kenku, half a charred face, one cloudy eye under the cloak, kind of making his way over to you guys, and kind of beat clacking a couple times, and just, ha! Hi, nice to see you again. You're here by yourself. Where is everybody?
Lots of research going on right now.
Fair enough. All right. You guys still haven't picked up the flask. It's been a couple of days. You were like, give me the money, oh, fuck, why do I do this? Give me the money. And then nobody went and got him. You're like,
Yes,
got it.
that's our next step. We are a tad busy.
No, okay, all right, just checking. You know, it seems so, all right, make sure. You know, that's like on the other side of the continent, but I guess you'll be getting there soon. What? Why are you staring at me? I'm just checking. Sorry. What's up? What do you need?
Anyways, I figured we could debrief from both sides. I know we have some information, but it would be nice to know if you have heard anything more. If I recall correctly, you said that you were sending a couple groups on this expedition.
Yeah.
So it would be nice to see if they have more information that could help us. And maybe we have some that could help them.
Sure. Yeah, sounds smart. Do you want to do that with everybody? Should we wait? Are the others coming? Just you?
Just me.
Okay, cool. Sure, let me get a couple things. We'll sit down, we'll talk about it. Oh wait. Celine, can you get the I'm already getting them through the door. Cool. All right. So I don't know where to start. I don't know what you got. So
All right. Well, we have mostly confirmed and are certain that the ninth layer is where we need to go.
Okay.
But the mission to find the Unmaker and this Archdevil.
Yeah.
We've heard talk of the Unmaker, but we have heard nothing about this Archdevil Illuminatus.
Uh-huh.
And we're curious to find any information on how you got that information. Where should we be looking that you were previously?
Right. Okay. Sure. So this what we've had so far has mostly been a collective effort over the last 20 years. Been kind of long going. Picking at digging through historical sites, finding ancient relics, ancient tomes, talking with devilish types and other things, and in efforts to rout out cults and worshippers of the betrayers and that sort of thing. We've kind of pieced together these pieces. I need to go through my sort of collected notes on all this, basically, to kind of pinpoint where the Illuminati stuff was old. It's one of the first names we found, but we don't know anything about the guy. And yeah, I haven't checked in with the others in a bit. I'll check in with them too, see if anything relevant has come up. I'll probably need a little time, kind of piece together what I got, so I can kind of lay it out for you. But I think I can do that. I think I can find kind of specific points in our timeline on all that. This hasn't been just me working on this. This has been a sort of collected effort. So I might also need to call in some other people to come meet with you if you want to sort of break that all down, if that's cool with you.
Sure.
Okay.
I will say that the information that we had discussed originally with this plot of whatever kind, it was mentioned that you feared, or the council feared, that this archdevil was attempting to ascend, or someone was? Is that correct?
Yeah, something like that.
I think, from what we have found, this does seem to be a real concern.
Okay, great, cool. That's bad news. That's news. Kind of figured though, so makes sense.
But the issue is connecting this to the Illuminatus is the difficult part, as the
What's up
rumors
in the
we've
air?
heard are not an archdevil.
Huh. That's weird. I feel like you'd kind of... Okay, well, good to know. Okay. Yeah, let me, oh, fuck! Let me,
You got this. Take your time.
I got it,
Find
I got it.
Find some tea. You're good.
I need to get up for that. I'm not getting it. Yeah, let me get together my stuff, my notes. Let me call a couple people, bring it around. If you want to get your folks, go ahead. But if you want, you can just wait here. Give me a little bit of time. Let me see who I can get together. Give you what I got now, and if I need to, I can call you back. If I got people who got more to give you, but they need time, we'll sort it out. Just give me a bit. I'll see what I can. And Celine kind of comes to the door. holding kind of two stones in her hand, and he just wait, we're going back. We're going. She just kind of turns around and goes back inside. All right,
Poor Celine.
I'll be right back. Yeah, chill out. Got this. And he sort of hobbles his way back to the door and after Celine and leaves you there. And this is something he's going to be in there for a little bit. So in that space, in that gap of time, Mal, when you catch up with Mel with Question, they're kind of poring over the book. You see the kind of flipping through, and this one is actually from before this. This is from when I was little. This is like the look. This, I think this thing is kind of real, probably, but look it kind of moves. It's like, oh, it's like a fucking puzzle cube. I think it's got more than 2 dimensions. It does have more than 2 dimensions. That's crazy. Yeah, and then right. So and then, okay, and this is the important part. Hello, Mal.
Hi, Question.
Yeah, she's showing me stuff. It's cool. Her brain is fascinating.
Let me see.
And and she flips back immediately and shows you so a Rubik's Cube just on the page. Basically, just a weirdly overcomplicated little puzzle cube. And
That's
enthusiastically.
crazy. You drew this from a dream?
I dreamed it when I was little, yes, and I haven't found it, but this is secretly my real goal, is finding this thing. And if it's real, I have no idea if it is. It might be, it might not. But then, yes,
What do you think it does?
I don't know. Maybe when you get it all lined up, it opens and reveals, I don't know, the secret of the universe. I don't know, maybe it's something crazy, maybe it's something not crazy, maybe it's something that blows up and kills you. I have no idea, but I'm going to find out after I do the rest of my work.
That's definitely an intriguing quest. I think you'll find it.
Oh, do you think so? I hope so. Wait. Sorry, we have important stuff to do. And so flips back to the... Okay, all right. Ow, I just stabbed my hand with my D4. This is what they got. We've already talked about this a couple times. I mean, what do you think? You got a little bit of that a bit ago. I think this is it, right? So I think you guys are going back to Amon, aren't you? Don't you, or something at some point, right?
At some point, I imagine, probably.
Yeah, I feel like we have to at this point. That's the only one of these things we have any sort of lead on, really, unless we want to go digging in random places. I don't know. We're making kind of a big assumption that this is even important, but I think it's important. I know, but we don't know for
sure. Based on what we know of the Astral Scrolls, it certainly seems related.
Yeah. I mean, I wish we could have read them before they were gone, but one thing at a time.
Maybe we'll manage to get them back.
Maybe. I guess we'll see. I don't like the idea of going in there, but we're going there eventually, so. Sweet.
It'll be fine. We will go well prepared.
Yeah. Totally. As prepared as he can be.
We've got a lot of allies on our side, especially at this point.
Yeah, I guess so. I guess we kind of do. Well, a lot of fucking people helping us out with this. And yet it still kind of feels like we're totally alone. We met 50 different people who are helping us, and we're still just dicking around. We have no idea where we're going. But, one thing at a time, I guess.
It does feel isolating, this kind of heaviness, this importance. But we're not alone. And there are a lot of people who want to see us succeed.
Like
Ooh.
me. I want to see you succeed.
And like Joy. She asked about you, you know? She's worried.
Yeah. I figured. Yeah, I mean, it makes sense. But I mean, I'm fine. So it's cool.
I mean, I think we both know that's a fucking lie.
All right. First of all, that's kind of fucking like that's kind of rude. So like, coming at me like that. All right. But I mean, yeah, I'm fine. Why wouldn't I be fine?
Because you haven't seen your sister in 10 years, and
It hasn't been 10 years. It's been like 7 years.
okay.
And I have
7
seen her.
years.
I talked to her, remember, for like 10 minutes before. And I can see her right now. She's right over, just to move around the thing that she's hiding behind. Right over there.
What do you think is going to happen? If she knows?
I don't know. I'm afraid she's going to ask me questions about what happened to me. I don't want to talk about that. She's going to be like, where have you been? Why are you sad and shit? Why are you gray? Like, I don't want to do that. I didn't want to do that when I was pink for other shit. So, like, now it's worse. Like, yeah, it sucks. We used to talk about everything all the time. You know? But then I kind of went crazy and then we stopped. So, it's I'm sure I'll come around to it eventually. I gotta figure my shit out first. So.
Yeah, I mean, I understand not wanting to talk about it and feeling vulnerable with someone you care about who hasn't seen the things you've seen. I get it. But for me, at least, staying away is worse. It's a punishment neither of you deserve. I don't think you have to tell her everything, but I think she'd like it. And I think I don't know. She's your sister. It's not really my business anyway. Sorry.
No, it's cool. I gotta, one step at a time. I mostly don't want to, hold on. And she reaches over and just covers Question's ears. Oh, okay. I mostly just don't want to talk to her about my wife. So, she's gonna ask. I don't want to do that. So, how long are you going to be like this? So, I got shit to figure out.
Okay, above table. Did I miss something?
No, she hasn't talked about it. I'm not surprised. No, come on. There's no fucking way you're surprised. There's no way any of us are actually genuinely surprised at this. Ruby likes doing this shit all the time. There is no fucking way. This is no. Ruby's
it took me a second. I was like racking my brain. I'm like, did I know this? This just not make it into my notes?
You that's watching this. That's not the six of us. Listen, here's the deal. Ruby's been sitting on this shit since we recruited Melancholy, like, I don't know how fucking long ago. Ruby's been sitting on this, and it's like, you know what? Here's the deal. I'm gonna drop it like nonchalant, all cool, like when none of it fucking matters. It's Mel is already this hulking beast who can like project a second shadow and shit. Wife doesn't mean jack shit right now, and Ruby's like, now's the time to drop this. Okay, sorry, I
did hear wife and not life, right?
No, it was
It
wife.
was wife.
Oh, it
Yeah,
was
it
wife.
was wife.
Oh, it was wife. Yeah. No. You know what? That's it.
He's got the wedding ring.
To be fair, Mel
need
does
a
have
week.
the wedding ring that like we've been like, so what's
Yeah.
the deal?
No,
and then they're just
absolutely.
dodge.
Yeah.
Since
Well,
episode
listen,
one.
Swerve.
and absolutely. And again, you at home, you weren't in the session. You didn't hear it described. It hasn't been bothering you for a while, but there's been other things going on, devil shit and like that stuff like that. So we don't ask about those kinds of things. We let her just kind of bring it up and then just boom, drop because we're in the middle of something and Mal's not going to ask about it. Okay, I'm sorry. I need a week. Can we just like right here and like come back next week?
Folks, vote in the comments if you think these people bully me excessively. Tell me now if you think
It's not bullying.
they're hating
I'm not
on my
we
process.
We are hating. We are hating. We are not bullying. We are just making sure that everybody is well informed. And really, honestly, it's just me working through some things.
You wanted reactions. Here they
I
are
did.
live.
I'm having a great time.
Flabbergasted.
I'm having a great time. I'm not done. Anyway.
I'm looking at this. I'm like, wait a fucking minute. Looking at her character, she wears so many rings. I didn't think anything of it.
Yeah, no, Ruby made a point when we first met Melancholy.
That one hand is covered in rings, one hand is just one.
Yeah, one hand is covered in rings. The right hand is covered in rings. Left hand only has one ring. And Rick clocked it, but again,
and it's like that
not
on her
She
part
didn't.
also.
She didn't answer during what the fuck is up with that. So
yeah, and she did. That's true. She
deliberately
didn't
drank
answer.
for the ring question.
Swerved.
And on her art, you notice the original where you see her other hand, it's covered in rings, and the one just has one, and then the new one, you can see the one with just one.
Yeah.
Wait,
There,
really?
there are
Nice
cathedrals
play.
everywhere for
Seriously.
those with eyes to see.
Listen, hat off. Great play. Wonderful. I dig it. Now,
Tip of the ears to you.
Mal, please do not let this go. She doesn't want to talk about it. We've got only a couple minutes left in this recording. I, as a player, AJ is pleading. You gotta push, please.
So funny because I can cut the camera back to
please,
Celiana at any time.
Please.
I could cut the camera back to Celiana at any time. I can leave this
Or-
hanging wherever
or
the
better
fuck
yet,
I want.
Or better yet, cut to Rick and Nimra outside the door. I don't know the secret knock. Do you know the secret knock?
Yeah, just standing at the thing is, I can't do that because Nimra would, because of the
Nimra
perfect
does.
memory. Nimra,
Yeah.
and also Nimra made a specific note in their one shot to remember the knock when they were there, so I can't get away with that one.
Nope, they
Um,
know the knock, and they also know the sequence of the
Sequence
door
of the
unlocking
locks.
mechanism
Locks.
that they can't see or use, but they know it.
Yeah.
Oh, I love Nimra so much.
I have I actually have written the roll that I got on that too. Perception 17. I checked on that earlier.
No. Hand's still on her ears.
She wife?
Yeah.
You wanna can you just run that by me one more time?
Did you not see the ring?
You
I mean,
where
I guess it could have been a
wore
dude
a lot
too,
of
but
rings.
It
Wife?
could have been a guy. It could have been a husband. I guess that's fair.
That is so not the dilemma I am having.
I mean, I've also had a couple girlfriends, couple boyfriends. Is that also super important information? Couple of them friends.
No,
you know?
the person you married. That's the one that I want to know about. I also Joy wants to know about. I want to know about the wife.
Do I just look unmarriable or something? Is it that much of a shock?
Considering
Why would you be
the amount
adventuring
of time
leaving
I've
your
known
wife
you
behind?
and the situations I have known you in, it is not something that I surmised about you as a person.
Okay, sure, fair enough. Unfortunately, there's other people I gotta talk to about that before you. So,
Your sister might be one
No.
of them. That's all.
no, I tried to kill Celiana in the middle of the night. I gotta apologize to her and talk to her about it.
Oh my god, there's so much happening right now.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah.
Yeah,
Listen,
probably we should talk about some stuff.
are you done? No. Okay. Yeah, I don't think the middle of this place is the place to talk about it anyway.
No, you're right. I'm sorry.
That's cool. I get it. I've been queening out, so you're like married. Yeah, I get it. Yeah, that's something.
We can talk about it later. Sorry.
Sure. No, it's cool. I mean, I said it, it's on me for saying it, but I was like, you got your cute little doting boy husband waiting for you. So like, I was like, you kind of like, I figured if anyone would be like, I kind of thought you would be the person I might talk to about it. In my life, thinking back, since I left home, there have been three people who know better. Oh, does this mean I can? Oh, okay. Just and yeah, it's a sore subject. So
Yeah,
generally, but for context, I guess for what's relevant about it, Joy knew my wife because Joy and me met my wife on the same day when we were kids, and Joy was my best man and all that stuff. So but back when we were kids and up until I left home, we wrote all the time, and she left home maybe a year before me to go to Amman to go to school. And then when I was leaving home, I stopped writing to her. And last thing I said to her was that I changed my name. Because I wasn't melancholy since I was born, because what fucking parent looks at their beautiful baby and is like, you look like a melancholy to me. That's not how that works. So I told her I changed my name. And it was kind of convenient timing because she wrote me a letter like 2 months before, like, hey, I'm Joy now. I picked my name. And I'm like, sweet. I should do that. And then I did. And then I left home. I don't want her to ask about my wife. I don't want her to ask because I know Mom has written to her and asked where I am. And I don't want her to ask why Mom doesn't know where I am. And I don't want her to ask why I don't talk to them, to our parents. I don't want her to ask what my deal is, because then I gotta tell her what happened.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Yeah, so you're welcome for the
I'm
tidbits.
sorry, that was pretty insensitive of
It's
me.
cool. I don't give a fuck. I'm chilling.
It's
like
not, but if you need an actual person to talk to, I'm happy to be that person.
This is what the alcohol is for.
Yeah,
It's
I got
cool.
that feeling.
Yeah. So, I appreciate it. But mayhaps, maybe we wait until we're on the road or something again. Maybe we'll talk about it.
Whenever you're ready.
Yeah. Sometimes I'm in the mood where I'm like, maybe I should just talk about it. And then I'm like, I don't want no shrink. So, one thing at a time. But yeah, I think I gotta tell Celiana I'm sorry about like almost killing her. I don't know. I don't think I almost killed her at all. I couldn't hit her. She's really fast. So
Yeah,
kinda
she's
pissed
like
me off,
really
but like
strong and fast and muscular.
yeah,
I mean,
she's like it's crazy. It's like something else.
But an apology is probably warranted.
Yeah, I gotta
Wizard who
explain
used to
that
travel
too.
with us almost killed me once, and it like wasn't super fun, but like it was an accident, so it was fine.
Yeah, this was kind of less of an accident and more so accidentally on purpose. So like, one thing at a time. I think I gotta make sure she's not mad at me before I then start, one thing at a time. So I think she is though. She seemed like she wanted to fucking kill me when we got here. So,
I find her
I
a
think
little hard to read. Do you want like some backup when you go?
backup. What, like a
Like
wingman?
just moral support? Yeah, I'll go with you.
No, I feel like she's gonna be way angrier that I dragged someone into some beef where I almost I stabbed her, bro. Like I stabbed her. So
Oh, jeez.
yeah, I almost did that to Rick too. So,
Well,
but
you
like
know.
they're both, I don't know. He's old as fuck and he's still so much faster than me. Like it kind of pisses me off. But that's my own beef, I guess. I haven't been
I
like this
still
in a
can't
while,
keep
so I'm
up with
kind of out of
him.
practice.
You know,
Yeah.
we do PT together sometimes, and he's like a machine.
Yeah.
Should
Yeah.
we give this one the ears back?
Oh yeah. Oh, hello. Am I back?
Hi. Sorry.
Hi. It's okay. Look, all right, look at this page. And she'll flip to that. And then Seal, where you are, Anzu will reemerge with Celine, and just as Rick and Nimra are arriving to the door, and Nimra is from memory perfectly kind of reciting the knock, and you see they kind of look at Anzu and Celine look at each other briefly, and he sort of like nods to her to go open the door, and he okay, so I got some people I can reach out to. How urgent is this sort of re-up on information? How quickly do you want to do this? Or how soon do you need to do this? I get it's urgent. I just want to know, wiggle room.
Well, there's still work to be done. We still have we got the key. Did we tell you that? We got the key. And we're picking up the flask.
Right.
So we still have things to do.
Right.
But understanding what is going on it would be nice to know.
Yeah.
If there's information we need.
Got it. Okay. In that case. Fuck. I got some people I spoke to. I have some stuff I can give you. And if you're in Westrun, at least another day, I have some people, some of the other folks involved in this that can speak to you, give you kind of fill in the gaps a little bit. So if you're willing to give me a day, we can do that, but we can touch on some of this stuff now, sort of fill in some space. Come on, you want to go to my office? It's like a place to sit.
Sure.
All right, cool. And he'll kind of wait as Celine leads Nimra and Rick. And Rick, this for the first time to you. Once this door unlocks, you're led into this small space with one lantern kind of lighting it in a stairway that descends into pure darkness. And you kind of need to be led along. And you are led down the stairs, through a hall, down a hall, into a wide open space. Pillars kind of holding it up as support. It's like a huge stone-built basement with some lanterns keeping the place dimly lit, and two doors at the very end. As Anzu gathers you up with Celine, who is this hulking, towering woman dressed in kind of, like centuries armor. She's and she's always sticking by Anzu's side. She's his protector, and she has a small halo that kind of sits above her head and sort of dimly, just very lightly illuminates her kind of face a bit and the space around her. You can see she's got these two. She's got kind of like feathers that extend into little wings that extend off her arms and the sides of her head, and kind of extra sets of eyes up the front of her face as well from where her normal ones are. And they kind of lead you in and lead the whole group back towards the right side door to lead you into Anzu's office, and that's where we're gonna call it for the night, folks. Yay!
Woo!
We did it.
So we learned some stuff today.
We did.
Well, we were going to. We went fact hunting. We just got things we weren't expecting to get.
Yeah. Oh my god.
Yeah. So, you
What
know,
the fuck?
he's up with that, right? Yeah.
Oh my
I
God.
know.
Like, I was thinking about that. Here's the biggest issue, right? Is there are
Issues.
two people in the party, and I include Rick in this, who have a lot of backstory and history and are also really good drinkers. So the game doesn't work
They don't
Right.
get drunk enough.
because they're drinkers, right? That's their natural state. And so
Exactly.
it just, yeah, absolutely.
Well,
Well,
she
we-
likes the game.
She
See,
does.
well,
She loves the
I
game.
guess what we really need is spin the bottle, you know? That's what we need to be doing.
Absolutely.
And then you're forced
not.
to do
Rick
stuff.
is nowhere in the room. Not up.
One
Flippin'
thing at
shit.
a- we'll crack a game that gets answers out of you at some point.
No, you won't.
Oh,
Taco, you were
Rick's
muted.
played it.
yeah, you're
Rick-
muted.
Rick's played every game.
I was just talking about all the sexual tension in this party. How effective such a game would be.
Yeah.
What are we talking about?
As long
I
as
don't
there's
sense any.
there's clearly defined rules,
Exactly.
and we're not just like combining games and just spinning a bottom randomly. Like that would be the worst.
Spinning a
Let's make sure
bottom. See, that's a different game. That's a very
we could-
different game, I think.
We can do that too, but obviously not on camera when there's an audience watching.
Listen, folks, do you vote below? Spin the bottle or
Do
spin
not.
the bottom? What is our next? What is our
Do
next
not.
backstory
crazy.
lore dumping game? Who's the bottom that gets spun? Find out when we get there.
Honestly,
Good
I thought-
night.
That's their
Night.
sign off.
Halloween!
Yes, it is.
That's
Happy
it. That's how we.
Halloween, guys.
Okay.